hello. And today we are going to be searching for potential alien radio signals there on the hydrogen line. That's the yellow line, not at the top of the screen, but we'll move that over slightly in a second there. But it is the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize we are most likely to hear the hello. Is anybody else out there? Message. Let's get this shifted over. Why has that gone all the way over there? There we go. We're back in line. Yes, that is what we're doing tonight. Harko, are you still in? You was a bit early. So we are on a bit later this week tonight there. Should we get ourselves live across everywhere else, listening for those potential alien radio signals? Where are we? Let's get ourselves rolling here, here, and here. There we go. Right. Let's send ourselves live. So, yeah, we are searching once again tonight for potential alien radio signals coming in from beyond the stars. We're searching on a frequency called the hydrogen line. That's the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorize we are most likely to hear those messages from ET, should they be out there, and should they be sending those signals. So, yeah, that is what we are doing tonight. We are hopefully going to be listening out for those potential alien radio signals there. As the Earth rotates, our dish will sweep across the sky, hopefully passing over a star that has a planet that's inhabited. And if it is, then we'll get a signal coming through quite clearly on the screen, hopefully, there. So we're pointed, where are we pointed now? Oh, so we are directly south, our dish there. So with the Earth's rotation, that dish will sweep across the night sky. Now, those signals are quite rare, but the frequency of such signals has been increasing over the years slightly. So hopefully we're going to get something ourselves there. Right, well, let me show. Is it all working there? How are we doing tonight? So if you're new here, do say hello as we're getting the stream warmed up. Love to hear where you're all watching from tonight. And also, how do you feel about the alien UFO phenomenon? Hello, Harko. First across the board there. But yeah. So we are looking out for potential alien radio signals coming in from amongst the stars. We're using what's called software-defined radio. Thank you for the heart there. Attached to a very large dish that I said is pointing up to the night sky there, and as the Earth rotates, it will sweep across the sky, passing over many, many stars, and hopefully one of those is going to be sending a signal which we'll pick up quite clearly here. Now, back in the 1970s, a lot of people have heard of the WOW signal there, and that was a brilliant potential alien radio signal. It's not yet been debunked there, so we'd like to hear something like that ourselves. Fingers crossed. There's Ina. How you doing? Determined that humanity is a trolling species. I think we can agree there as well. And the Galactic Council cancelling open contact is probably the same decision there, putting us back in quarantine. How you doing there? And through house, good evening as well. How is everyone doing? So, guys, we are searching for alien radio signals once again tonight there, with a very large antenna sweeping the sky, hoping to hear ET say hello. Now, this line, this frequency, the hydrogen line, is of interest because it is the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorize we are most likely to hear those signals. Private Tomcat, how are you doing? Good to see you in. Yes, the most likely place for us to see those signals. But why is it the most likely place? Well, because it is the frequency, the channel there, that hydrogen gas naturally emits a radio signal as it decays amongst the universe coming in from the stars there. And because it's the most common element out there, it's a nice consistent frequency. It gives radio astronomers a good baseline there, and you can tell all the other differences about the universe and what is going on. So there'll always be eyes and ears on this frequency listening out, hoping to hear, listening out for those radio scientific purposes there. So if you do want a message to be heard, then this is the place to put it there. How you doing, Carl? I've got your passport ready to be posted tomorrow, so fingers crossed there. Naomi, how are you doing? I haven't watched it yet. No, I haven't had any minutes. It's meant to be the Xmas holidays. I had 5 minutes there, but it's on the list. It is on the list. How are you doing, though, Naomi there? So, yeah. Toro as well. Welcome, Carl. How is everybody doing tonight? Do say hello if you're new here. We do something like this every night. So if it's cloudy, we're doing this, the alien radio signal hunt. If it's clear, we do a live UFO, UAP, a skywatch. There's some footage there. We see all the weird wonderful things flying around in the night sky. If the moon is up full, then we get the camera out for that. We see all the craters, all the details there. Talk about how weird some of the stuff is that we've seen going on around the moon. So do give us a follow, and you'll get those notifications, hopefully, when we go live. Rio's in as well. Good to see you. At least when it arrives, you're safe from the probing. I bet the countdown there, Carl. You know, just every night it's been. You're desperate to get the passport. But hopefully it should be with you soon for that one. Yeah. Proper knackered and just listening. Fair enough, Zena. And that is actually why I was trying to go on a bit later tonight there, see if we can catch some of the sleep crowd that we used to back in the day. We used to do this at 11:30 starts PM UK time. We're now all the way down at 8 PM. So it's a different crowd there. Rolly as well. Rio, thank you for the hearts there. Appreciate that, guys. The tapping, the sharing there, the liking does help us reach more and more like-minded people, and the more eyes and minds we can get looking at the phenomena there, sharing our experiences, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. And if you are just joining us, we are searching for potential alien radio signals tonight, coming in from amongst the stars. We've got a very large dish out there in the garden, and it's pointing up to the night sky. So as the Earth rotates, that dish is going to sweep across the night sky there, passing over many stars. And hopefully, if we are lucky, one of those will be inhabited and sending us a signal. And it is a bit of luck involved. It's a bit of a right place, a right time, because the signals are quite rare. So you've got to obviously get, point your dish at a star that has a planet that is inhabited, for it to be sending the signal first, but also when is the next criteria that we need to consider. You know, it is unlikely that the old aliens are going to be sending out those signals constantly. They're so energy intensive there. It is very unlikely indeed. So we've got to make sure we're doing it at the right place, the right time there. So the statistical odds do increase the longer we do this for. There as well. How are we doing there? Rob's in, AC is in as well. How you doing tonight, guys? So how do you feel about the alien phenomena there? Atomic 2, how you doing? So we are searching for hopefully, potentially, alien radio signals. Now, there have been a number of interesting ones throughout the years, most notably the WOW signal back in the late 1970s. They're one that most people know because it was such a good signal. Looked exactly like what we was expecting, where we was expecting to find it there. So it is a cracking signal account there, but it's not the only one by any means. There's been a number of very interesting signals tonight. So what are the other ones? The weird signal, sorry, that's a good one. So that one came apparently, or it appears to have come from a star called Ross 128, which is very close by. In fact, it's on our street in space terms. It's just at the end of the road there, and it is a red dwarf planet there. We know that it has planets in its orbit there within the habitable zone. So maybe we have a source for that signal there. I think 2026 is going to be a good year for UFOs. Carl, 100%. It feels like the phenomenon is just picking up year upon year upon year. The frequency does feel, well, not the frequency, the amount, doesn't it, of activity does feel like it is increasing there. Kane as well, Logs, welcome aboard. Where you're watching us from tonight, we're on the hunt for potential alien radio signals tonight. So yeah, we've got the weird signal, we've got the WOW signal. These are all interesting ones that have been detected there, but frustratingly, one of the really interesting ones appears to be coming from our closest stellar neighbor, which is Proxima Centauri. They're only 4.5 light years or so away. But it's in the southern hemisphere, so we can't point our dish at it, sadly. But what would that mean if the next star along to ours has also got life around it? It would mean that it is absolutely everywhere, which is a direction that I lean. I mean, you look in our Earth, there life is so abundant. Lee is in, how you doing? And Kane, guys, Lee and Kane, thank you for the likes, appreciate that. It is those likes and shares that helps us reach more and more like-minded people. So the more eyes and minds we can get looking at the phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. But yeah, if we look to Earth, there is a species, an organism, a microbe, isn't there, for every niche, every environment, and more than one. There's quite a few there. So if we look to Earth, why would the solar system and then the galaxy and the universe be any different? Why would we be special? There's nothing so far about us here that we have, cause to believe that we are special or unique. In fact, the more we look, the more that we understand that we are probably quite average in the universe there. But there was a really interesting paper which kind of touches in what we're doing tonight, which was the first radio signals from another species, or any signal really, any sort of intelligence signal that we can say is a message from ET, is likely to be their last. Maybe a civilization in distress are there, or their last farewell message. Maybe they're uploading all of their knowledge to the galactic internet. That might be the signal we detect, because I said the energy requirements to send the signals over these distances is so vast, so you're unlikely to do it a lot of the time. So if we have a higher chance of hearing a louder signal, a more energy intense signal, then because they're going to be much more noticeable, easier for us to detect from here on Earth, then maybe it's because they're putting all of their last resources into it as a farewell or a warning there. So those statistical odds, because we actually detect quite a lot of supernovas now. A supernova there where a star explodes. They're quite dramatic and they are quite rare, but we detect a lot of them. We detect a good couple per year, but because they're so loud. So they are very, very rare, but they're so loud, so we see more of them. So there is a bit of an observation bias involved there, and the same may be true for civilizations and their communications. Maybe we're not getting their day-to-day text messages and emails. Those are much less powerful energetically, so harder for us to detect. So maybe we are only going to really detect those last final messages of a civilization there reaching out. How are we doing, Mark and John? Welcome aboard. Where are you joining us from tonight then? Guys, if you're new, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. How do you feel about the UFO alien phenomena there? Being skeptical is fine here. Are we all alone in this big, wide galaxy? Or is life absolutely abundant at the other end of the scale, Or is it somewhere in the middle? Maybe there is life out there and a reasonable amount of it, but maybe the distances are far too vast for them to travel here to us, or vice versa, or even send a signal there. How do we all feel there? John from Liverpool, love it. Got a few from your way there as well. Jack and Beerbuster's back. How are we doing, guys? Rohan as well, welcome aboard. So yeah, we're searching for potential alien radio signals tonight on the hydrogen line. That is the channel on the radio dial, and the yellow line on top of the screen there, where scientists theorise we are most likely to hear a message from ET, should they exist. And Anthony as well, thank you for the likes, appreciate that. All of the tapping away there in the shares helps us reach more and more similar-minded people there. Rio's Aberdeen, I always forget you're up that way. Rio makes me think of very exotic. Imagine palm trees, Rio. Are there any palm trees in Aberdeen? That's fizzy. So yeah, we are listening out for those radio signals. Now, if we are lucky enough to detect one there, it will only be on screen for between 30 and 60 seconds, because you have to imagine with the Earth's rotation being that far away on a distant star there, again, that with the rotation, it's going to sweep across the sky and only passing over those distant stars for that short period of time that's going to be in range. So we'd expect to see a nice spike in these middle sections here. Now, both of these bars here, they're the same thing. These are all the live signals coming in across all the different channels there, but this is the one that is of interest here, this central one here, the hydrogen line, this frequency. But the difference is this is all live dynamic spikes here, and this one, this is the same data, but it's displayed on averages, and therefore we can see some differences. Notice some patterns and whatnot there. How you doing, Joseph? Good to see you. We're all good here, and Beerbuster, good to see you in there as well. Hope you've had a... Wait a minute, what day is it? I've lost. We're in the no man's land. Is it Monday today? I hope you had a good Monday. Then as well. How you doing? Hey up, good to see you in. I know it's a bit later for you tonight. But we're going to catch the sleep crew tonight, we think, there. But yeah, we're doing another standard alien radio signal hunt. It's a bit of a lottery. It's a bit of a right place, a right time sort of thing. You never know when you're going to be passing over the right star at the right time to catch those signals. And they are very, very rare. But the frequency of alien radio signal detections, potential alien radio signal detections, I should say, has been increasing over the last... how many years? Over the last few decades, it's got very, very busy for these things. It used to be a case that it was once per every couple of decades, and it was once a decade, and now it's getting almost annually that we are getting some very interesting signals be detected. So that is what we are doing tonight there. We are scanning the skies, hoping to hear ET say hello. But whilst we're waiting for the action, we'd love to hear from yourselves there. Any questions or any of the latest news in the UFO, the UAP world, I'd love to talk about that. And also, if if you had an experience, again, we would really would love for you guys to share that one. In fact, if you do as well, we've got a really cool community over on the Discord there. Lots of information about the phenomena, Free Atlas and whatnot over there, but a really cool personal experiences section where you can tell your story and it won't just disappear after the stream there. And Howie, welcome aboard. Where are you joining us from tonight there? User 77 and Manny, how are we doing tonight? How do we all feel about the UFO, UAP phenomena there? It's your first day back at work. Oh, I'm feeling that. Mine is still Friday technically, but I'm going to have to jump in on Thursday to just get ahead. And it's the dread of the what mess am I going to be going back into there. So it's already spoiling the rest of my time off of there. JJ's in there, and Howie, thank you for the likes there. Appreciate those guys, the likes and the shares. They help us reach more and more like-minded people there, getting more intelligent, open-minded people to be looking at the phenomena and sharing their experiences. It all helps us piece this puzzle together there. And Sparkles, good to see you. How are you doing? Josh, welcome aboard there as well. So, yeah, well, Sparkles is back. Good to see you. So, yeah, we're doing another alien radio signal hunt tonight, but we are hoping for a couple of sky watches this week. So that's what we do the rest of the time. If it's a cloudy day, we're doing this, the alien radio signal hunt. But if it's clear, we're based in Wiltshire in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. And we point our camera to the night sky there. And we see all the weird and wonderful things flying around in the night sky, so do give us a follow. So then hopefully you get those notifications when we go live. Oh, I imagine yours, though, AUP, is more it's more critical than the sort of rubbish I have to deal with. Mine's just frustrating rubbish. People just not doing their jobs and stuff, but yours is probably more life and death there. Manny as well, thank you for the rose, appreciate that. It all goes back into the stream as well. And guys, if you're just joining us, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight there. We are searching the hydrogen line, that's that yellow line at the top of the screen there, but it's a channel on the radio dial that scientists theorize we are most likely to hear any messages from ET should they be out there and sending us a signal. Now, if we are lucky to get one of those signals, these distances are so vast there. It takes a lot of energy to send a radio signal over these distances. So if we are to get one through, there is a good chance that it's going to be really faint. In fact, it might be so quiet that it might be below all of this background noise here. So this is the background noise of the universe in radio, basically. And scientists think that is basically the Big Bang, the remnants of that. But it might fall below it. So every now and again you'll see a red box appear here, and that is analysing, looking for patterns, for repetition, signs of modulation or encoding there that could give us a clue that there may be a faint message that we are missing there. And Brad there, what's the best radio signal we have got? So I'm going to have to be honest, we haven't got one yet. They're very rare, but I say very rare, but they are, the frequency of them are increasing there. So they used to be so rare that it'd be once every few decades that you'd get one of these weird anomalous signals that we cannot explain, like the wow signal from back in the 1970s, but the frequency is picking up. And in fact, 2018, 2019, 2020, they were getting every a year. So our odds are increasing, but it is a bit of a right place at right time, so we have to put in the hours to do it there. And Lee, if you caught a radio signal, what would the procedures be to report it? It's a very good question, Lee, and it's one that I hadn't actually considered before doing this. It's only after the fact. Just so excited to potentially be getting signals, making sure we're, getting that evidence. It was, okay, well, once you've got it, what do you do? So the normal procedure there for the big boys, for the main SETI teams there and the big radio telescopes is they bring up their friend with another large dish, and they go, can you point it at this, point your dish at this star, and are you getting this signal too? And if they can get that confirmation there, then they know that it's not sort of a local interference signal. So if you imagine you've got one dish pointing up to a star there could be something in between those distances, maybe a satellite or a reflection of the moon or something like that, that is that's what it's picking up in between. But if you've got another satellite there and they're both converging on the same point, and they both hear the same thing, then that is a sign that you are getting a real signal from that source. And we can't do that, sadly. We don't have any other friends with big telescopes that they can point to confirm the signal. So what we'd basically do is just clip it. We'd clip it and would send it around to everybody there, because they are very rare, and I think it'd be news jobby again, because these are very rare. So if we're all here together watching and observing this, again, it gets to go on the news there. Where are we in there? Agent X, how are you doing? It's a quiet one. It's an evening there. But what if it's only one burst signal like the WOW signal? Well, this is the thing, isn't it? So science requires the signal to repeat there so they can get that second confirmation. Which I can understand why. You need to better monitor it with science and all that sort of stuff. Agent X, thank you for the rose. Appreciate that. How are you doing? But yeah, this is the thing. What if it doesn't repeat? These signals are very, very energy intensive, or would be, to travel these distances. It's unlikely that they are going to be, just sending them off willy-nilly or constantly there. And in fact, we as a species, we sent a message once ourselves, didn't we, in the early 70s, just before the WOW signal. And we only sent that once, so why would the aliens do it there? So I don't think that's a very good, I don't think it's a very realistic criteria. Now, I understand why it's there, but I think we can't write it off because it hasn't repeated. And this is where science does tend to go, and a little bit separate from me here, is that they go, well, we'll assume it's interference if it hasn't repeated. And that doesn't sound like a very scientific prospect there. I think you just have to leave it open, leave it as a potential. And thank you for the gifts there, Agent X, appreciate that. All goes back into the stream as well. But how do you feel? Do you guys feel that should we write these signals off if they don't repeat, or should we at least keep them open, keep them on the shelf as unexplained? And in fact, now I thought the best one's the WOW signal, and it is a very, very, very good one. But when looking into it, I knew there were some other ones that had been, kind of maybe not as good, but there's still the question mark there. But when I was looking into it, there's actually quite a few potential signal detections there, and there's this weird middle ground category where science is, at the minute anyway, constantly kind of putting these signals into it without the confirmation. They're going, this is likely to be radio interference there. And one of my favourite ones is a really good signal. I think it's a double signal detection from a close-by star that we know has a planet in its habitable zone. And the funny thing is, they said, yeah, it's probably satellite interference there, but the frequency, the radio signal there wasn't on a frequency that satellites use. They couldn't replicate it. They couldn't explain how it may have happened there of any real conviction. So they weren't able to scientifically prove that it was it, but yet that is their position on it. Not that it's unexplained, but that no, it's probably, which again, it doesn't feel very scientific, and it just makes me think their whole approach to this subject is a little bit biased there. And BJ, welcome aboard there. Where are you joining us from tonight? It's good to have you in. And guys, if you are new here, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. And also do give us a follow, because we do something like this every night. So if it's cloudy, we're doing this, the live alien radio signal hunt. But if it is a clear sky, then we point the camera up to the night sky and we see all the weird, wonderful things flying around in the night sky there. Or if the moon's up, we see all the craters, all the details, talk about how weird the moon is for us there. And up as well over on the tubes there. Emails double or triple figures. I've been trying to quantify what my inbox is going to look like. I'm at least thinking 100, and I'm dreading it to there. And lots of signals, but we don't hear. But this is the thing, Alp. There are lots of very interesting signals. When people say, where is the evidence? There is evidence out there. There is so much evidence out there. There's material evidence as well, isn't there, from crashed craft and things like that, that is in private ownership, has been tested, is anomalous. Now, they can't conclusively say, yes, this 100% is aliens, fair enough, but it's still evidence. It still has that big question mark around it there as well. Hello, Stephen. Good to see you in there as well. And I posted a really interesting video today about 18 planets. Yes, that one, I saw that one, in our solar system. And if you're on the old Discord yet, get over the 100%. So Aap's talking about our Discord. Again, there are so many really cool stories out, put so many awesome things, the latest news. And also these really, just like this, I hadn't even heard about this, wasn't even the main news topic there, 18 planets potentially in our solar system, not just the 8 that we talk about there. So do join us over there, got the link at the top of our bio for that one. Is there room in the stream for Agent Alan and Agent X? Oh, I don't know. Let's squeeze you in. You're trying to get me to sing. I caught that one out pretty quick there. It's too quiet. Got enough brain power for that. And the film you need to watch is The Four with Val Kilmer. I don't even know if I've heard of The Four there. And Brad as well. So you can. So can you explain the WOW signal and what it actually was for us non-intellects? Well, I'm a non-intellect as well there, Brad, but I'll give it a go. I was scraping the barrel. So the WOW signal was a narrowband radio signal which appeared to be coming from nowhere nearby, basically. And if it's nowhere nearby, then the human technology cannot be responsible. So the other criteria is it an organic radio signal? Nature is very noisy in radio. You can tune into the planets, you can tune into comets, you can tune into hydrogen, hence the name, the hydrogen line that we're listening to now. Hence that. So you've got to filter out the natural stuff. But natural signals are very messy, they're very wideband. And therefore, you can kind of tell them apart. But this signal, the WOW signal, was, very precise. It was quite thin there, very narrow band signal. Basically, everything you'd expect to be a technological, efficient signal there. And what's more important is it was right where we would expect to see a message from ET. Out of all the channels on the radio dial, it was right where we expected to see it. Now, it also had a few other interesting characteristics about it. Now, the most, I think, interesting there is it had a Doppler shift. Now, what that is when a signal source is moving away from you or close to you there, it will either stretch or compress those waves. So the electromagnetic waves, if we're talking about radio here, but you can also do it with sound waves. So if you've heard an emergency vehicle, an ambulance or a police car, and you notice there's the NENORs are going, the pitch changes as it approaches and then leaves. It kind of sounds a bit different, and that is the Doppler shift there, those sound waves being compressed as it's coming towards you and stretched as it's going away from you. And the same happens to radio there, and we can see it. So it starts off basically a little bit before or after the hydrogen line there, and it kind of moves. So that implies that its signal source could be on a planet that is in orbit around a star there. So it's little things like that help to go. This is really, really interesting. We do not know of anything in nature that can produce a signal like that. Now, the downside with the WOW signal, the frustrating point, is that the Big Ear radio telescope that detected it back in the 70s wasn't really able to record any data that may have been within the message. It's quite a simple one. It was just, there is a signal, it's this strong, it's on this frequency, sort of for this amount of time. So if there was a message within it, it was never recorded then. There was no audio, it was all kind of printed out, that sort of data. So yeah, it's tantalizing, but we can't really take it anymore, and because it hasn't repeated, we haven't been able to continue that analysis there. But it is such a good signal. Now, scientists have tried to explain it over the years, but they've not got very good ones, and the latest explanation is that basically if there was, I don't know, like a pulsar star that launched a radio wave, like a wide, messy radio wave that happened to pass through a cloud of hydrogen gas, then that would excite the hydrogen gas, and if we're at the right angle, that would appear like a narrowband signal to us. That's the best scientific one, but it takes so many jumps and loops there to tick that box for that to happen. It's going very much against Occam's razor there. It gets to the point that aliens is probably the simpler explanation for it there. But that came from the Sagittarius constellation, which is the same place that old 3i Atlas was coming from. So we were monitoring that over the summer because that's where our dish was pointing. But there have been other signals since then as well. Kate, hello, how are you doing? Knocking about whilst doing some things. No worry, Kate, good to see you in there as well. Angela's in as well, good to see you. How is everybody doing tonight? Naz, Tim, and 99 Problems, good to see you there. And Kim, good to see you there too. Where are you all joining us from tonight? How do you feel about the UFO, the alien phenomena there? Are we all alone in this vast universe, or is life abundant? Maybe it's somewhere in between. Maybe there is life out there, but maybe these distances are too vast to reach us here, either visiting us or sending us a message. How do you feel about that? But more importantly, has anybody had an experience with the phenomena? We would love to hear about that as we're waiting for the action to happen on screen there, because as the Earth rotates, our dish outside there is going to pass over the night sky, hopefully passing over a star that has a planet that's inhabited and sending us a signal. But it is a bit of a right place, right time thing, so we just have to rely on a little bit of luck there. But hopefully, we'll get a nice spike here on the middle sections here. This is the frequency of interest to us. This is the channel on the dial there that scientists do theorize we are most likely to hear a message from ET if they are out there, and it is where we've had those anomalous signals come through in the past there. Over on the tubes, where are we? Do we think that the signal was decoded, but it's all classified? So I'm torn with this one, I am. So I'm reasonably confident that with the Big Ear telescope and how that was structured, they themselves did not get any more data from it and probably weren't able to decode anything from that. But It doesn't mean that they were the only ones listening. Now, they're the only ones recorded to be listening, but there may have been sort of other projects that may have caught that data, and they may have been listening and been able to do that one there as well. Oh, excellent! Oh, Mazin alive! Oh, damn it! Why is it always when I'm live so I get to miss them? I mean, I'm live every night there, but how cool was it? A paranormal one, because she's been doing some really good stuff there. Oh, that is awesome. I should probably did message me. Actually, I haven't checked my messages today for that. Oh, that's fizzy. A reading circle. Oh, so is that like? I've got to remember the words. Is it like not sort of spirit reading, but like not like cards? Is it that sort of thing? So yeah, but excuse me. Trying to cough off mic there. Yeah, but then so that was the WOW signal, which is again a phenomenal signal there. It was exactly what we was expecting an alien radio signal to look like, exactly where we were expecting to hear it. But it's not the only one. I don't think the signals from Proxima Centauri, there, our closest stellar neighbour, I don't think they're from. They're on this frequency here. I think what we might be picking up, because they're so close, we could just be picking up their radar. We could be picking up their television signals, because again, their 4.5 light years is not far at all. It's far if you want to walk it, but it isn't far for signals. Oh, still out, excellent. I had to come off to give Hubs meds. Oh, that's all the boy feral out. I like that boy feral. Oh dear. Well, hopefully I'll catch it when we come off later if they're still on for that. But yeah, so there have been interesting signals. Apparently the ones from old Proxima Centauri as well are kind of constant. You do need a very, very large dish there, probably much larger than we have, and the larger they are, the more sensitive they are to those quieter radio signals. So you can hear fainter signals, because that's the thing with radio and television signals, is that they are quite faint there. They're very low powered. So you think of it like shouting, over a distance there. If you're shouting something, it'll go further than if you're just talking at a normal volume, and television is more like talking, radar is more like screaming at the top of your lungs. So radar signals and things like that are more likely what we're going to pick up, and vice versa. But yeah, if they're close enough, maybe we can detect their television and things like that. It would be very interesting, because the whole next part of this, firstly, we're looking at is detecting a signal, confirming that it is a technological signal not coming from Earth. That's the big eureka there for us, the big eureka. But it's by far sort of the only part of this. As I said, we have the notifications of other people there to see if we can get that confirmation. But the next stage is decoding it, deciphering it. What might they be saying? Would we even be able to understand it there? Not only is there a language gap, but it could be the potential. Would you even interpret the world in the same way? There's a good, strong argument though that it could be a scientific language there. It could just be sort of repeating numbers. And the baseline of maths, maybe that is universal. Maybe we could get that conversation started there. Thank you for the likes there, Beer Buster. I appreciate that. All of those likes and the shares does help us reach more and more like-minded people there tonight, getting more eyes and minds on the phenomena, so we can all piece this puzzle together. Ben's in as well. Trisha and Tim, how are we doing tonight? Welcome aboard. Owen, good to see you. Where we all are watching from tonight. So yeah, we're doing a live alien radio signal hunt here. So we're searching the hydrogen line, which is the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorise are most likely to hear an alien message, should they be out there and sending us a signal. Ben, how's it going? It's going all right. Yeah, we're getting there. I'm dreading going back to work in a few days. That's on the mind. But other than that, it's all good. How about yourself there? Have you had a good festive period? So I don't know, have you heard anything around the WOW signal and being decoded? Because that is one, so it's not even something I've heard on the conspiracy theory side. I know there was recently a chap going around saying that he may have decoded it based on, the letters and numbers that were received and written down, by the telescope there. But yeah, I haven't heard any other rumours around it. And it strikes me as the sort of thing that would be ripe for that. Oh, can you not hear the background? Let me turn down my music. I wonder if that's coming through, because we did go for a phase where you couldn't hear it. Oh, and by that I mean the sound me and B heard. Maybe then I couldn't hear it anyway. Where are we? Scrolling through there. So anyway, Johnny, how are you doing tonight? Welcome aboard. So yeah, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt, hoping to catch ET saying hello. We've got the interference signal. That is still there tonight, coming through nice and strong. And this is one of the things that helps us in filtering out other signals. The fact that this signal has been with us here the whole time. Now that tells us that it is with us with the source of the equipment there, because otherwise if it was, those distances, as I said, it would have disappeared long ago. Between 30 and 90 seconds at those distances there. And it's also a little bit off target. We'd expect to see it around here. But this is a good little example of the differences between the two. Although they are both the live signals coming in, these dynamic up and down peaks here, you can't really even make out the signal coming in, but where it's working in averages, it's giving it this little general ridge here, the little plateau that you can see there. So that's why we've got the separate ones in there tonight. And thank you for the likes, Charlie, appreciate that. You're not picking it up tonight, so wonder what that was last night. So we were pointing the dish in a different direction last night. I had to move it again today, because last night we were doing this, but we're doing it a little bit differently. We were targeting a very particular star called Tau Ceti, which was 11 light years from us here on Earth. So again, it's at the end of our street in space terms. It's quite close by. And it's a sun-type star, so very basically the same as our sun. It's slightly smaller, slightly more orange, but very, very similar, a G-type star. They're like our sun. And obviously, we know our sun can host life, whereas there is the question, isn't there, around, because stars come in a whole range of sizes, temperatures and volatility. There's a theory that some might not be appropriate for life. Maybe life can never form around them. But yeah, this is a sun-like star, so immediately it solves that. And we know that there are planets in orbit of that star, a few of them in the habitable zone there, maybe even larger than Earth. And there had been previous signals from that star before. So we were pointing our dish at a very particular star last night for that one. This is more of a general. So we have our dish pointing directly south there at a slight inclination, and we just wait for the stars to pass in front of us there with the Earth's rotation. A bit of a cough there. Where are we on board there? Stephen, how you doing there? Free Alice has changed its name to AIBS. It may well do. I quite like. Is that a real one or is that a joke? Because that's quite funny if that's a joke. I like that. We are getting to that point, aren't we, now, where it is on its way out of the solar system there. So we've probably seen most of the activity we was going to get from old Atlas there. But you never know, maybe something will jump out at us there. Well, where are we doing over the tubes? Penelope's in. Good to see you there. And nice to finally be here. Good to see you. Alan's here as well. Hello. How are you doing there? And I agree, I'm surprised with the advent of all of AI that no one has started to look again at WoW and the fuck signal. Yeah, that's our one, the F signal. Ben, hello, and thank you for
nom nom nom. Thanks,
feeding
guys.
Alan there. That's his first snack of the night there. Yeah, I mean, this is it. We just need to get that second reading of it there as well. And happy coming new year as well there, Penelope. Wow, translation, tasty humans, setting course, stay put. Oh, good. It could well be, you never know. Will we ever know what it said there as well? Where are we? And Stephen, a joke. It's very good. I liked that one. You never know, though. You never know in the world of space. But Happy New Year to yourself there as well. When is that? Is that tomorrow or the night next? I've lost all track. We're in that middle ground now, aren't we? How you doing, Boulder? Any UFOs today? Not today, but we've had such a run of cloudy nights. I think it's been weeks since we've had a clear, damn sky, so we haven't been able to spot any UFOs or UAPs for a while, but I believe either tomorrow or Wednesday it's due to be clear, and that means, there we go, some footage. We're doing a skywatch there. Get the camera out, point to the night sky, see all the weird and wonderful things flying around there. And we're based in Wiltshire in the UK, which is right in the heart of crop circle country, just down the road from Stonehenge, so we tend to see lots of weird stuff for that. So we're excited for that one, because we had some good sightings before the clouds rolled in before Christmas. We had some very, very interesting ones indeed. They're saying, see UFOs, keep up the good. Oh, Stephen, if you'd love to hear about them, if you want to share them, I'd love to hear about that, because that is what we're doing. This stream, I mean, these signals are quite rare. So, the main event is the skywatches, but we're in the UK, so the clouds do roll in. We have to have something else to do. So this is a good excuse to still be doing the work, still be looking for the evidence, and hopefully that will come through. But it's also about sharing our experiences here and having a bit of a chat, chewing over the latest news and whatnot in the UFO world there. So we'd love to hear. If you guys got any questions, ask away. There are no silly questions here as well. Ben, what's the difference between the orange and the blue lines? That's a good one. So that is just sort of signal strength, so basically how high they peak there. So the idea is that blue is really just the baseline, it's the background there. The yellow is when they kind of peak over the next threshold. So this is kind of showing us all these frequencies. Each one of these is a different channel essentially on the dial. That they're getting excited. A lot of this is probably going to be our local sort of solar atmosphere. Nature is very noisy in radio, but we've noticed that there's different activity in the background. It kind of increases, decreases depending on what's going on and what's flying around up there. So yeah, the yellow is just that. This could be interesting. Keep an eye. Red is a nice clear signal. If you see a nice red spike come through there, nice distinct one for us on that screen there. And how cold is it where you live? Here it's soon to be -10. Oh my god, it's nowhere near that cold here. Are we Celsius or Fahrenheit? I always get around the wrong way. In the UK, what are we? But I think we're quite mild. It's been quite a mild one. I think the lowest we're getting is -1, but at the minute it's about 2 degrees. So it's not that bad, actually. Not that bad at all. Whereabouts are you there, Balder? And the silver ball, I like around airports. So you've seen those spheres again. It's not something that never was reported. There were, going back historically, a handful of these sphere orby sightings going through, but they've become really common now, haven't they? I say really common, but they're definitely increasing the sightings of these. So you're seeing them around airports there, which would make sense because airports have radar, and radar is one of the strongest radio signals that we are sending out there to space. So if somebody's going, what the hell is that signal? Where's it coming from? They follow it to its source. They're going to find an airport most likely for it there. So that that makes sense that they're going to be of interest there. But then you've got the whole sphere network thing, which is coming out lately. I can't remember the name of the chap. Is it Patrick something? So he's talking about the idea that these spheres are actually based on Earth, and it's either a communications or a defensive monitoring grid or something like that. And yeah, they're all over the Earth, and they pop up to do their monitoring and check-in and stuff like that. And that's why we're seeing so many of them. Tony as well, coming in with the likes. Appreciate that, guys. Those likes and those shares, they really do help us reach more and more like-minded people there, getting more eyes and minds on the phenomena, so we can all piece this puzzle together there. Appreciate that. And Mikey, you ever hear anything good? So we've had some interesting background sounds and stuff come through, but we haven't had the eureka. We haven't had that clear message from ET. The big spike, like you see in the film Contact or anything like that, because they are actually very, very rare. Although saying that, they are not as rare as they used to be. The frequency of those does seem to be increasing quite substantially over time as well. But that is what we're on the lookout for. So we're actually looking at, worth clarifying, so we're listening out for a very particular type of message here as well. So it's not necessarily a UFO communicating to another UFO, or an interstellar delivery order or something like that. No, we are listening for purposeful messages there from a civilization reaching out to the stars, sending a message to see if anybody else is out there, the hello message there. That is what we're particularly looking for, and that is why this frequency is of interest, because this is the channel where we would expect to see that one. There are thousands of channels on the dial frequencies there for radio that they could choose. Dawdle, hello, thank you for the gift, appreciate that. All goes back into the stream. How are you doing, Dawdle? But yeah, there are thousands that they could choose, so why choose this one? In fact, why even choose radio there? Why not use laser light there to communicate? Why not use some sort of quantum property that we've not even thought of yet? Maybe quantum tunneling or quantum entanglement. Maybe that's how they communicate amongst themselves. Well, the reason we think radio is because it's a very easy technology, and if you're sending that message to reach out and hopefully to reach as many people as possible that might be out there, that could be at a total different range of technological levels, this is kind of that lowest entry point way of doing it. You're going to have more people, hopefully, hearing that message there. But also, even if your communication technology is far more advanced, you're always going to be listening and monitoring this frequency for its scientific reasons there. It tells you so much about the universe there. It's a good baseline for radio astronomy, and therefore there'll always be eyes and ears monitoring this frequency. If they've got radio technology, they'll be doing that as well. So that is why we think it's the best place to put a message like that reaching out amongst the stars there. It is, isn't it? It's absolutely fascinating. A lot of these theories are coming out now, Stephen, so I do love that. Mike as well, thank you for the likes there. And Steve, I think they're here to stop nuclear war. Missiles have been stopped, they have. And what really worried me once is apparently they started the launch countdown, didn't they, on one set in the Ukraine as well. So this is the report that the old ICBM, the big nuclear missiles deep in their silos in America and in Russia there, have both reported many incidents of UFOs over the bases there, and on occasion, definitely more than one, that they have been interfering with the missiles, taking them offline. And again, in one particular case that has been mentioned, that they actually turned them on, which is a little bit more worrying there. So what is the message? Is it like, look kids, we can interfere with this, like, we're going to take the matches away from you if you keep messing around? Or is it a threat? Or is it just probing? Are they experimenting? Are they understanding our technology to have that capability in the future? There is definitely a strong correlation there with nuclear, whether it is the nuclear weapons or whether it's nuclear energy. Even the nuclear aircraft carriers now, they're not carrying a weapon; they're carrying a nuclear reactor there for their power source. But they seem to have a very strong interest in nuclear there. Haven't had it yet, as well there. Oh, where are we going through? Yeah, so we haven't had it yet. Evening, Dodo, good to see you there. Telepathy, get the word out there. Mikey, you took the words right out of my mouth. That is the other way. We're hearing so much now, aren't we, about this psionic connection there, using the mind, telepathy in the old school there. A way of doing it, but it's apparently this is the big thing in the UFO world, and it was something that I had never ever made the connection to the UFO phenomena with, and literally until the last couple of years where it started to come out. But maybe that is how they're doing it. Maybe it does. All of the reports that we're hearing, in fact, all of the encounters of the third kind, so people actually seeing the creatures, I think it is pretty much all of the creatures. It's a telepathic communication. It's a messages in the mind there isn't any verbal. I don't think I can think of any that are a verbal communication there as well. And we've done some deep dive previously, and one that always jumps out to me, it was a molecular biologist there that claims to have actually worked on their biology and their genetics of the Greys, and part of that was that their brain structure is different. It has sort of nodules on there, which may be to do with like an advanced telepathic communication with it there, but it's still pointing that it could be a way of doing it there. Kate, back again. I was going to say the way the ferals are tonight, I think it was a full moon. Do they howl as well, Kate? Oh, Google Willow knew something. Oh, is that the quantum computer from Google there? Somebody mentioned something about Willow a while back. I can't remember what it was there. And Hap, how you doing? Did you see the signal on Skinwalker Ranch there? Now, I have seen that episode. I'm still trying to catch up. That was one of my jobs this Christmas period, was to binge and catch up with that. But I have seen that one. Now, they're getting their signals on a frequency a little bit further along at 1.6. Now, so that's a different sort of signal there, but it's still very, very interesting, because that frequency is one of the ones that does have a long history on Skinwalker Ranch, but elsewhere, of potentially being associated with the UFOs directly there. Maybe that's either a byproduct of how they're functioning, that they're releasing signals on that frequency, or it could be that they're actually communicating via that signal there. So the reason we don't search that frequency is because that the 1.6 range, in fact, basically the rest of the radio spectrum, all the other frequencies, other than the one we're on now, are all used by human technology. This frequency, the hydrogen line, because it's so useful for radio astronomy, there's like an international treaty that nobody is allowed to broadcast on it because it'll mess up all the big radio telescopes. So this one, if we get a clear signal on here, that actually helps us go, right, it's probably not human, it's probably not a satellite there, because they don't make them to broadcast on this frequency to not mess up those things on purpose. 1.6 is actually reserved for sort of ground to satellite communication there. So if we do get a signal, we wouldn't know if it was a UFO or if it was just somebody, one of those satellites communicating there. So it makes it a bit harder, but it is still very, very interesting, those signals. We were trying to figure out a way that we can kind of incorporate that in the futures there. You noticed it nearly is. That means it's still going to get worse, Kate. It's the beginning of the month. That's when the moon's up, or from where we are anyway, there. Now, and you've jumped over. You've come over to the dark side, to TikTok there. And guys, speaking of jumping over, remember we're available elsewhere there at the Thing UFO. Across there you get to see a horizontal view of the screen, and there we go. Look, you can see there's more analysis going on. So if you're over there on the tubes or elsewhere, you can see that full screen, but on the TikTok you can't see all the analysis that's going up here, or the sky map that's behind me. So directly behind me now is a live view of the night sky, and it shows you where a dish is pointing, and then as the night goes on, all those stars sweep across the sky, and you can see which of the local close by stars are going to be in range of our dish and when. And then middle left, we're actually got the live audio waveform analysis. So the sound that you can hear now, that sound there, that is the signal coming in on that frequency, and it's being monitored and compared to like the WOW signal, for example. And in the middle right, you can actually see basically the information on close by stars that are in target. We've not actually got a close by one, but oh god, we are actually on the cusp of a few new stars tonight. Oh guys, so we are, I don't know, 10 minutes out from Mirzam and Sirius. So Sirius is an interesting one. That has a long history with the phenomena there, so that's going to be interesting when that one comes in range. I don't know if that's going to be 20 minutes for Sirius or so there, but you can just about see them here, the stars, they come behind me, but on that full screen you get to see more of those there as well. Janie, hello, and thank you for the heart, appreciate that. So all the gift subs, patrons do go back into the stream and help us improve what we're doing here. No down the pump for us, it's all invested back in here. Where are we, Stephen, as well? Things have been strange. That thing in Switzerland are trying to make a black hole and open portals. So the Large Hadron Collider there. So that's one of the things it's rumoured to be. And I'm a big fan of, unintended consequences. That makes me sound like I like unintended. No, we do not know what we don't know, and we could be messing with many things there that we don't fully understand. So I'm a big fan of that. But the old LHC there, the Large Hadron Collider, is a fascinating piece of kit there. I haven't checked over here. Where are we there? Oh, Xena over on the tubes. The incident was at Montana silo. All 10 went into launch mode without the code authority. It's impossible. We think the message was brought you into this world. We can easily remove you and grow up soon. So Xena may well be there. That is the message. And you're right there that it is meant to be physically impossible. Those systems are analog, and they're all sort of air gapped as well, so there physically isn't connections for those things some things that happened to happen there. So there was an outside involvement there. It was absolutely insane. It happened on multiple times. It's semi-common apparently for the operators of those silos. They've reported it on multiple occasions, but through what I'm hearing is these interactions, they go in waves. So they spend a couple of years sussing out the nuclear reactors, then they spend a few more years sussing out the nuclear silos, and they kind of cycle through them. It's not necessarily a full-on they kind of come in their own waves for that there. And reading the new Dan Brown book, and it's about noetics and consciousness, really, now that is going to be an interesting take on that. There's a lot more is coming out in the media about that now. It does feel like that is where it's all going. It's how it starts, entertainment and things like this is how we kind of warm the general public up to ideas, isn't it there? And Tesla had a message in the 1800s. Now, Stephen, not many people know that, so I'm impressed because you're 100% right. There have been very interesting radio signals detected literally from the beginning there, from the early days of radio when Tesla and Marconi were messing around and having a good old time there. So that's the only couple of people really using radio. And it's much more quiet. They were getting very interesting, very strange signals indeed. Now, there's not much logged data-wise, so we can't really analyze it over the fact, but Tesla at the time thought it was the Martians. Now we know that's probably not the case there, because Mars seems to be very, very barren, although appears to have microbial life at the very least, but it doesn't look like they're technologically advanced there. But yeah, there have been those strange messages, and there's also another phenomena in radio as well called long delay echoes, which are very, very interesting there. So basically it's an echo, but the length of how long it takes to come back there tells you how far that the signal has travelled at the speed of light. So I think these ones are about 7 seconds, so it's travelled 3.5 seconds, and then 3.5 seconds back there for that reflection. And we go, right, okay, what is 3.5 seconds from Earth? Not much. There shouldn't be anything there. But I'll tell you what is there. Something called a Lagrange point. And they are where the gravitational interactions between large bodies kind of cancel each other out. So everything up there in space, all of our satellites, all of them, the objects, the meteors, they're all moving, they're all in motion, they're all in big orbits flying around up there. Nothing is really stationary in space, except for these Lagrange points there. They're like the parking spots because the gravity cancels each other out. It's a great little parking space. You don't have to worry about eventually, re-entering an orbit there or anything. So they're very efficient. The James Webb Space Telescope is in one. But yeah, 3.5 seconds away, there is something that is repeating our signal or reflecting our signal back there. We don't know what it is, but we do theorize that that's exactly where we would put a probe. And what would we make the probe do around a different planet? Well, we'd make it wake up if it heard radio and repeat it back, just as a form of saying hello there. Call it a Bracewell probe, and that's apparently what may have been happening there. Pop, how are you doing? Up. There we go. Good to see you. It's a joy you're here. Where are we there? In January is a supermoon. Oh, that's going to be a good one to catch. I'm looking forward to catching that on our next Skywatch there. So, guys, when the moon is up before, that's what we do. Got really good lenses, some actual footage. We see all the craters, all the details. And we look out for things called a translunar phenomena, which is the weird light glows outgassing and the UFO objects moving on, off, and around the moon. So that supermoon is going to be a good one if it's a clear sky. So do make sure you are following for that one. You can join us on those ones. And Balder as well, is the Free Eye Atlas all gone now, or does it still give us signals? So it's still in our solar system at the minute. It's heading towards Jupiter on its way out now. But yeah, we've done the peak of it. Most observations have been done. We've had the best of it there. And it has been emitting radio signals, but organic ones as far as we know there. Nothing technological in nature there. It's definitely very, very odd. But there's nothing that's been a slam dunk yet, I don't think. But you never know. B, hello, and thank you for the heart. Appreciate that. And completed passport holders, just a heads up, I think there's 5 of you. I will be posting your passports tomorrow, all going well. So you should get them this week. Where are we? Ben, is your tube? It should be, yes. So it should be at the thing UFO on all of the platforms. It should be, unless I've totally made a mistake, which could possibly happen. But if you do want to give us a Christmas present, then giving us a sub over there would be very much appreciated. There as well. It's a bit quiet in the chat, but there's still people there, aren't you, tubers? And Stephen, Sam, I know someone who could read my mind. That freaks me out. I've heard so many accounts of it, and especially what we're hearing now, more than plausible. But that for me is like a real privacy thing. How do you feel about that? Was you just impressed there? And Sirius, and yeah, Sirius is going to be cool there. B as well, thank you for the roses, appreciate that one. And Atlas was just a rock in the end. It does seem, that's the way I'm leaning. A little bit of ice and some other stuff there. It's the way I'm leaning, but a very interesting one nonetheless. I don't think it's 100%, but that is definitely the way we're leaning there. And Sarah J, hello, what are we looking for here? Sorry, it's taken me a minute to get to you there. I hope you're still with us there, Sarah Jane. So what are we looking for? Good question. We are listening out tonight for potential alien radio signals. We've got a very large dish that is currently sweeping across the night sky, and as we pass over various stars, we're hoping that one of those is going to be inhabited, have a planet in orbit that is inhabited by intelligent life, sending us a signal. Now, they're quite rare, but they do happen. Going back to the WOW signal there of the 1970s, a phenomenal signal. But even in the 2010s, even 2019, 2018, we are getting these weird signals that science just cannot explain. Some from very, very close by stars indeed. There, Carl as well.
Nom nom nom, thanks, guys.
Thank you for feeding Alan. So that is what we're on the lookout for tonight there. Blind Frog Ranch had signals too. Why does that ring a bell? Where have I heard of Blind Frog Ranch before? It's ringing a bell. there. How you doing, B? Good to see you there. I walked in on where we would put a probe. Alan's got to me there, B. That's what it is there. Wesman, you said, no worries. Actually, Wesman, I didn't see the first message from you there. So, guys, if I haven't read your message, I've still got a few more to get through. TikTok does. The minute it's going crazy filtering out people's words. It doesn't tell us if it's filtering out what you're saying. So I'm almost at the bottom of the list there. But if I haven't got your message, you might have to reword it and type it again, because I do want to hear from you, and I do try to read everybody's messages there. And B, thank you for the follow. You're already following us. What happened there? Wayfind, good to see you there. I can also read minds and situations. Cards anyway, and check out my latest. So did you read it through the cards, or is there something else as well? The second, because that is interesting there as well. Bound as well. Thank you for the gift. Appreciate that. So it all goes back into the stream there. And I hate... Hey! That's cool one, that is. I like the animations there. I hate TikTok as well. Always watching something on my TV and get stuck with your life. Just me on the big screen. That's weird. I can't imagine that one. But yeah, TikTok's I love it and I hate it. It's been so good for meeting you guys, but the things they are filtering us and you guys out for now, it's insane. It's just almost impossible to do a stream without getting a violation after violation for no good reason there. But it's called a toxic follow, where you unfollow and immediately refollow, my friend. There, swears it helps the out. Yeah, I've heard somebody mention that one as well. Well, wait, appreciate it there. A toxic follow, what a name for it there. What a world we're living in, isn't it? Trying to game all these systems and stuff like that. So yeah, if you are just joining us, we are listening out for potential alien or radio signals tonight. Listening on the hydrogen line, that's that yellow line on top of the screen there, and it is the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorise is the most likely place to hear those messages, should they be out there being sent. But it is a bit of a right place, a right time sort of thing. You never know, we could be passing over the right star that has the life there and the intelligence. And when they are sending it, these signals are so incredibly energy intensive to send over these distances. They're unlikely to be sending them the whole damn time. There is the following goal thing. Oh, okay. I bet I didn't spend enough time with the rest of TikTok to fully understand it, but it sounds good. Hey guys, a merry late Christmas, Amy, and merry late Christmas to you, and I hope you have a good New Year coming up. I hope it was a good time for you there. Trick the algorithm, working our mysterious ways on it. There, where are we? Over on the tubes there. And up there, I thought LDEs were an underwater phenomena. That's somehow proof of a tech reaction through the water substrate. I've not heard about that one. I mean, they are still, as far as I know, they're still in question. So maybe there is some angle, with the water involved. But I haven't heard of the water relation on my end. But that's very, very interesting there. A trajection, mechanism perhaps. It could well be. It definitely does appear to be a sign of some shenanigans going on there. But, radio is funny and, it interacts with the atmosphere in very, very funny ways. But, it's been 100-odd years and they haven't been able to figure that one out yet as well there. Stephen, she was connected to the angels and was twinned with me. We had a connection, but life got in the way and I haven't seen her in years. When she passed in December. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that one, Stephen, there. But that connection as well. So could you read because of the connection then? Was it? As in, I have a feeling Free Eye was a beta test, the public perception aligned to projected responses, and the alpha test will be in 6 to 12 months after the disclosure day. Project be operational readiness. I do think they are feeling out the water to a response there. I just don't know. I don't know about Atlas. Maybe how they handled it in the media. Maybe that was part of the test there. Emily, thank you for the heart there. And B, coming in with all of the shares. Kate is there too. Appreciate that, guys. It helps us reach more and more like-minded people there, getting more eyes and minds on the phenomena, helping us piece this puzzle together there. And it's been hectic since your absence. That is forgivable, though. Is it hectic good? Or just hectic with family? There. And Santa is Odin. I hear lots of things, connecting sort of the older gods there to the more Christian stuff and how it's been taken by Christianity and stuff, but I'm not very much up on it. But I tell you what is really interesting me at the minute is the connection to the old gods, the old religious texts here across the board. And when you break it down to its core sightings, core experiences, what they're talking about, rather than how they're interpreting it, it does seem like it's still the same phenomena that we are experiencing today, which is very, very interesting to think that it could be going on the whole damn time there. Gotta go, but have a great one. Thank you, Bonnet. And all the best for yourself there. Have a good, hopefully we'll see you later on in the week there. But if not, have a good new year there. Wayfind, I use fine-tuned intuition. There's a, oh, it scrolled ahead of me there. Oh, where has it gone? The classified studies on it, and especially with remote viewers. So the remote viewing stuff as well is very, very interesting. And again, it does seem to be quite consistent. And it is provable. They wouldn't spend as much time studying it, would they? If there was nothing to it there. You and your 500 kids, you're competing with Kate. On Prime, there's a program called Have a Pagan Christmas. Getting up to date with that. It mentions all of that. I wrote an article on that, Sam, on my Substack. Wait a minute, I didn't know you were writing articles as well. I thought you were just great at finding them. Why have I not seen a link, or have you posted it and I've totally forgot it? Why have I not seen a link to your Substack up? What? Wait, I need to see this. I love that. There. Do we do, Kate? We do. You're taking Musk's advice there on the repopulation seriously. You haven't posted the link up. Come on, we need to see that. That one needs to be around there as well. And Lady Danielle, how are you doing? Hope you had a good Christmas there. Growth as well. Good to see you in. Hydrogen line is the most common element. Well, that is exactly it. Hydrogen is the most common element, and that is why therefore the hydrogen line is really, really consistent no matter where you are in the galaxy. And because of that consistency, it's great for that baseline for radio astronomy to learn about the universe and what is going on. So that is why they think that is going to be the main reason to put the message on the hydrogen line, that yellow line on top of the screen, because it's so useful there. There'll always be eyes and ears from anybody that's got radio technology will always monitor it for that purpose there. So this is why it's the best place to put the old message there. Yes, Pentagon spent billions on remote viewers and topics in Stranger Things, which is a documentary. I mean, I'm hearing stuff. Is it Montauk stuff around like that? And I'm not going to spoil it. It's not really a spoiler, but some of the stuff they're talking about, how they're explaining some of what's gone on in Stranger Things in the last few episodes. There, it was interesting. Was interesting. It brings it more into the realm of reality, if that makes sense there. That's not a spoiler, so you don't have to worry there, guys. And post it 100% out. Post that on the Discord there. And it's cases definitely. And where are we? I love connections. So yeah. When she had the same birthday as me, when she was 6 years older. But we was both born on a Friday. So all of those correlations there. I mean, I'm so sorry to hear the last part of it, though. There. Montauk Bay is a facility. I want to go there. Anyone in? Oh man, I'd love to if I had the pennies. 100% there, like the facility. I do love a little bit of old government infrastructure there, but yeah, I mean, it all tied into the Montauk stuff apparently. I wonder how literally. I have heard some stuff on Montauk there, but I wonder how literally that is coming in. Who have we got in there tonight? Sav and how are you guys doing tonight? Where are you joining us from there? Do guys say hello, ask away if you've got any questions. I'd love to hear them. No silly questions here. I'd love to hear where you're all watching from as well there. B, did I not?
Nom nom nom, thanks, guys.
I say no, Alan did not. Oh, and Amy?
Thank you for the alien pets, guys.
Thank you for feeding Alan tonight. You're starting to look at me funny. Eyeing me up there. Interesting, in spiritual terms, you are likely the same oversold. If you thought alike, then you were the same complicated, but she was the yin to your yang, so there's like part of the same soul there. Interesting. And hello, Mark. How are you doing? Good to see you in. How is your... Again, it's a Monday. I keep thinking it's the weekend. We're in that no man's land, aren't we? Between Christmas and New Year. What a very strange time there. And thank you, Mark.
Num num num, thanks, guys.
So, God, yeah, it's that weird time. I keep thinking it's the weekend. Excuse me. But we are once again doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight. We're searching the hydrogen line, that is the yellow line at the top of the screen, and the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorise we are most likely to hear a message from ET, should they be out there. So yeah, it's the most likely place, and this is where we've heard those signals in the past, like the WOW signal and some of the other more interesting ones as well. So it's that yellow line right there. So as the Earth rotates, our dish is going to sweep across the night sky, and it's going to pass over many, many stars, and hopefully one of those stars is going to have a planet that's inhabited by intelligent life and will be sending us a signal. There, is it Merzam? I think that's the new star. And we haven't had this star ever in range before, and it's literally on the cusp of our dishes arranged there. But then shortly after that, it's going to be Sirius, which is going to be very, very interesting. Indeed, Sirius has a bit of a connection there to the phenomena there. So you guys can't see it over on TikTok, but behind us is a live sky map there showing us where the dish is pointing. In fact, if I do this, you'll see a clip in a second. We're on the horizontal platforms there at the Thing UFO, and in a second it'll come up. And there we go. Look, you can actually see there's a live sky map there as well, plus some extra analysis going on there. And Head Go Bonk, I like that name. How are you doing? And how's your bonks? Where are you watching us from tonight there? The apt of my life, the days are all run together. It does do that sometimes, doesn't it? There. Great show, Stephen. Thank you. I do appreciate that. But nature's the one that puts on the show, and you guys provide the interesting things to talk about. So I can't take much credit. It's Alan.
It's me, Alan, the real star of the show.
Thank you, Alan. There as well. Oh yeah, I've already been down the co-op. I moved the beer about, what's that, Christmas and New Year. It's a dead zone for us. It is. It's such a weird time. It is. Never know which way is up at this time of a year. But yeah, there have been some very interesting signals detected on this frequency over the years. My new favourite, obviously the WOW signal was great. There, you know, it looked exactly how we'd expect an alien radio signal to look, and we heard it exactly where we would expect to hear it. So it's a great one, and it's very strong, that's the key. But there have been other ones detected over the years, so my new favourite one is the Ross 128 signal. So Ross 128 is a red dwarf star, not too far from us, about 11 light years, so it's on the end of our street in space terms there. But it has a number of planets in its orbit that we've detected, and they are within that star's habitable zone, so there could be a source for that signal coming from there. But I think this signal was detected a couple of times. They weren't able to get like a second telescope to monitor it, so it kind of goes into that category of the unknown there. But very interesting and very, very close by. Our closest stellar neighbour there, Proxima Centauri. Now that star does have, again, potentially been sending us signals. We can't point our dish to it here, sadly, because it's on the southern hemisphere, and we're on the northern. But that, again, that would be very interesting. When our closest stellar neighbour there potentially sending us signals. How cool would that be as well? But what was the other one? Oh, the SETI at Home project. Now, a lot of you guys might remember this. It's the early 2000s. It was a screensaver you could download from the SETI organisation there. And what would happen is, when your computer went to sleep, you'd get a cool screensaver pattern, but it would use your computer to crunch the data that they'd taken in from a number of their radio telescopes, hopefully looking to see if there was a signal in all of that past recorded data. Now, apparently, they did detect a signal during that program. Somebody's computer did help crunch those numbers and come up with a potential very, very interesting alien radio signal. But again, it didn't repeat. And this is the big part of it. They want these signals to repeat, but they're not actually most of the time monitoring them in real time. They just point the dish, they record the data, and then lots of scientists just access the data on demand, like when they want it at a later date there. So what happens is, they record it, they get a weird signal, and then they go, oh god, look, 3 years ago, look, we recorded something interesting. All right, let's point the telescope back. Oh, it's not playing now. You know, well, of course it's bloody well not. You know, so there's not a lot of live stuff going on. There is some, but not a lot of live. So that is why I think they're struggling mainly to get that second degree there, that second confirmation there. And we do so, our benevolent overlord, yes. Alan nods his head with acknowledgement there. And thank you there, Kate. Do appreciate that. Where are we? Over on the tubes. Latest in, NASA detects life on planets in our solar system in the Goldilocks zone between Venus and Mars. They're confirmed. Hydrogen, oxygen, atmosphere. High life probability. Yeah, but they wouldn't confirm it. And Stephen, I've never got it, never got over it. She made a lasting effect on me. But I totally understandable there. And I was talking to the missus about this before, you know, the tragedy of grief and things like that, you know, how strong and awful that film is, it's that strong because of the positive, you know, because of the positive impact there. So the more positive that was, the more you feel its absence, you know. So it's though it's horrible, it speaks to what was there, you know, and how meaningful that was. I bet though, Stephen. And this is why they are working on global coverage for these signals. I forget the link, but an Italian university apparently found evidence of a modulation in the signal. Boom. Now, okay, so that is very, very interesting. So modulation, guys, very roughly speaking, is how we encode the data to these things. So a lot of, even myself included, really thought that radio is basically just a voice but over the air and you can't hear without a device. But it's just like all other data transmission there. It's encoded there, so it's not that you can just necessarily hear it. So yeah, you need to be encoded and then decoded the other end. And how we do that is basically with modulation. Encode is not necessarily the right word, but you get what I mean there. So if there was signs of modulation in any of these signals detected, it's very, very clearly technological in nature. So again, if we can confirm that the source isn't from Earth or one of our satellites or things like that, which again, they're quite low powered, so, you know, relatively speaking, you know, we can tell if it's one of them and stuff like that. So yeah, very, very interesting if they could have detected that. I haven't heard that one though. Zena as well, and Stand, can see, no, that's you having a chat there as well. And like a skybox without a card, unpopular, up, I can keep reading it wrong, 100%. That's an old reference now. I wonder if the kids will get that one, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, a skybox without the card. Although, isn't it interesting that AM radio towers are so powerful, when they arc out, you can actually hear them. Sometimes, if they're powerful enough, you can actually hit in metal objects. They kind of conduct the signal, and you can actually hear the broadcast, which I couldn't quite get my head around there. And in fact, what we're doing now, what you're listening to, so it's the cosmic microwave background there. That is the early universe, the remnants of the Big Bang, they think. But so you can hear it, we are filtering it through a decoding language, basically, there. So it isn't necessarily raw in that sense, but a message is probably likely to be uncoded on this frequency here. If we are reaching out, they want to keep it as simple as possible. You don't know what languages or what encoding somebody's going to be using on the other end. You want to keep it as simple as possible there. So it probably just will be the signal itself, maybe how long the signal is there for, and if it comes back, maybe they can encode a message in that sense, which would be obvious that everybody would see. And Lee, if they sent a signal, how long would it take to reach us? Well, that's a very good question. Probably a very long time. It depends exactly how far away they are there. So, hold on. Right, that new star has just come in range. Oh, it's a perfect example of this. So that's Mersam, which is 500 light years from us on Earth there. So 500 light years means it takes 500 years for that signal. If they sent us a signal to reach us here, it would be, it would take 500 years for that signal to get here. So if we got one right now from that star, it would have been sent 500 years ago there. And if we were to get a signal, the minimum required power requirement there to send that signal over that distance would be 2.81 terawatts. That's a phenomenal amount of energy. There's no wonder they're not doing it all of the time. But it's a good question. I mean, say if we were talking about Proxima Centauri, which is our closest neighbour there at 4.5 light years, that would be 4.5 years. It's for the signals to go either way there. What's the difference between AM and FM there? So the M's in those stands for modulation there. So it is the type of modulation. And I never remember, is it attenuated or is it an full modulation or something like that? But yeah, they're the different types of modulation that they're using. So like you know, songs have got our MP3s, aren't they, or WAVs? That's like their audio file types. Or FM and AM is the equivalent of like MP3. You know, it's a radio codec, not codex. You know, it's how it's encoded there for that one. Evening, Noel. Good to see you. How are you doing there? VHF and UHF, exactly. These are, so they're the bands, aren't they? So it's very high frequency, ultra high frequency there. And frequency is basically, again, I'm totally butchering the radio knowledge here, so anybody that actually knows about radio is going to be pulling their hair out there. But it's frequency. It's called frequency because it's how frequent, how many peaks there are in the wavefront in a defined period of time there. So if it's lots of peaks in that short period, then it's a high frequency. If it's on a low frequency, is less peaks over that period of time. To find one. Only in the house. How you doing there? It's probably a bad explanation though, guys. But it gives you a very, very rough idea there. Point, I'd use something like an igneous rock for my intergalactic spiring there, amplitude and frequency, but still basic. Well, that's a good point there. I mean, they do talk, we're talking about the hydrogen line, which is, so this particular frequency, but they call from the hydrogen line out a little bit, so it's a whole selection of frequencies. They call it like the watering hole there, because it's actually like the hydrogen line is the frequency of hydrogen. You know, like, there's a whole selection around this area of elements that release a radio signal, and they think that any one of them could be of interest, but the hydrogen line is the main one. Again, it's where we've heard those ones before. Exactly, second that one, Zena, as well. And Jolly, how does a form of propulsion based on our current understanding of physics create an opposite opposing reaction without any resistance? I mean, I don't know. Oh man, definitely on this one. Where are we? Down there. Deep Stick, hello. Where are you joining us from tonight? And welcome aboard. There. Okay, because I know nothing about this symbol. I mean, you know, there's something called the zone of proximal development, which is, you know, there is that, you know enough that the people that know slightly less go, you know, they can learn it, and then you know that the people above you there's like a zone of people that will be interested. So hopefully there's enough people in that zone. I can give my bad explanations of these things. But also, and definitely it was the case when things were a bit busier, you know, people would come in that would know these things, and we could all learn a little bit together. I could stretch my brain a little bit there. At least the WOW signal possibly would have been sent years before we received it, so they might have given up. Well, exactly, Lee. Like, you know, this is the thing. That cluster, so it's the Sagittarius system, I think it was, there. Now, I think the closest star is 150 light years, I think, in the Sagittarius system there. But it's a wide range. Some of them are thousands there. So at least 150 light years, you know, so 150 years for that signal, at the very, very least, for that signal to come there. Unless there was something, like maybe a ship in between that could send that signal. Oh, we do, Kay, for that. It keeps us on our toes, though. Project Bluebeam and directed energy weapons there. Well, they're so. I mean, Project Bluebeam, interesting one there. That's the idea, or the proposed project there, that the world governments would fake an alien invasion. justify more authoritarian control. Say, oh look guys, watch out, look, there's the bad aliens are coming, we need to lock everyone down, we need to put in stricter rules there. And particularly they were talking about either some sort of telepathic way of making people experience the aliens to build it up, or holograms, I think was what they're talking about. I have a feeling though that Project Bluebeam was a product of its time. So specifically Project Bluebeam, old Werner von Braun reportedly talked about this. He was the head of NASA during the Apollo eras there. So, it has got some credibility to it, and I definitely think governments would, if they could. They do false flag stuff all the time to justify actions. So I think if aliens were on the cards, I think they 100% would do that sort of thing. But I think particularly Bluebeam was of a particular time that passed there. Not saying that nobody wouldn't try that now there. Bacon butty requires ketchup, if I'm honest there. I mean, we're talking the facts there, Zena. And this is where it gets interesting. Are you detecting something on the hydrogen line, or did some giant chunk of ice get obliterated by a rock releasing energy? We can rule out mega entering for now. Also mega engineering for now. So this is, trying to figure this stuff out. You're 100% right there, because nature is very noisy in radio. We have to discount those natural origins for signals as well. But there is one major clue which can help, is that nature tends to be very messy, very wide band there. So they won't just take up the one signal or a small cluster. It's normally all over the shop, very wide, very, very messy for natural signals. I mean, just look how jumpy the background noise is, and that's all natural stuff there. And technological signals are very precise and very efficient. So if we're seeing that narrow band there, that is the key. Because, again, we don't know ways for nature to produce many narrow band signals. There's a few odd occurrences, but we can kind of figure out what they are when they are there. But, yeah, no, you've got to be able to rule out all of that. Yep. And Paperclip, yep, so old Vern Braun came over during Paperclip there, ex-Nazi there. Be careful of me saying that on here. Two of them with oxygen is a liquid. I mean, it is. It's all elements, isn't it? Where are we? And Stephen, when I was young, my first computer, I had a text message from the future at 2045 warning us needing help. There was one, wasn't there? One of those old BBC computers. Do you remember those guys over in the UK? The big old analog early, and it's all like the black screen with the green text sort of thing. It's all white text, but very old school computing there. But apparently there was a whole thing about somebody had one of those computers at home, no internet back then, no connections outside, and they had had this conversation with somebody from the past and somebody from the future as well. So you're saying you had a similar one then, Stephen? Had a similar experience to that? And 2045 isn't far away at all. Was there anything in those communications that you've noticed come true, or you've at least seen things align? Like here's the precursor technology to something they've spoken about, or the precursor event setting up something they may have mentioned there. Stacy, hey there, stop seeking us. No, I'm always seeking. Tell us your secrets there. And I had a ghost message from a blank cassette. Now that is pretty cool there. What was on the message there? And Crash, how are you doing? Thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from in the world? If you are new here, guys, do say hello. We'd love to hear from you. Here we're all watching them. Old text was green. Yeah, it takes you back there. I wasn't quite sure. It's on my memory playing tricks there. Scared the crap out of me and could not save it. Yeah. It probably would me as well, because those old devices, there was no Bluetooth. It was all manual connections in over very small local networks. If you had that, there wasn't much a way of it being messed around with. It fills out a lot of it there. Where are we there? Fox, Labubu's aliens. Could you imagine if that's what they looked like? Fox, J Fox there. Like, the dramatic ship lands on the White House lawn, everybody's gathered around, the ramp drops, and out comes like a massive, or even a tiny Labubu, whatever it was, style alien there. Like exactly, plenty, yes. And If they did, they released them as a learning resource. They took them back with a lot of books too. So yeah, they did, didn't they, with the old BBC ones? I remember them in the schools. Do you remember those plastic, they were like little turtles that would plug into them, and you could program them like, you know, line by line to go left or to right, and they moved around the thing. Never got to use the thing, but it looked interesting. Boos, yeah, there we go, are known as containers, using signals to contain iconic energies. Not alien, but demonic by the sounds of it then. All new to me. No, it's all good. It's all good there. So, hello Wolf there, welcome aboard. Where are you joining us from in the world? Guys, if you are new here, firstly, hello. We're doing a live alien radio signal hunt. So we're searching what's called the hydrogen line. That's that yellow line at the top of the screen there. And it's a channel on the radio dial that scientists theorise we are most likely to hear a message from ET, should they be out there. So that's what we're doing, live alien radio signal hunt tonight. When the skies are clear, what we normally do is a UFO, UAP, a skywatch. There's some footage of the night sky here in Wiltshire in the UK, which is right in the heart of crop circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. So we tend to see lots of interesting things there. So do give us a follow. We do something every night, depending on the weather there. Oh, if the moon is up full, there we go. We see all the craters, all the details, talk about some of the weird things we've seen on, off and around the moon. So we're always on the hunt for evidence of the highly strange there. And if you want to see a bit more of the screen, at the thing UFO, on both the red and the purple ones there, you can see look, you see more of what we're doing tonight there. There's more analysis going on the sides that you're not seeing over here. Mars was crossing Sagittarius in 1899 when Tesla received his signal from the same place. I did not know that. You know what, I haven't even looked too much at it, but Lee, that is very, all of a sudden that does sound, that is very interesting. So maybe those early Tesla signals there could be connected. I like that as well. Lone Mob, what's the frequency? So it's 1.420 there. So it's the hydrogen line. It's the frequency that hydrogen, the most abundant element in the galaxy then, and naturally emits a radio signal as it decays. And because it's so abundant there, it gives a nice baseline for radio astronomy. So therefore, we're always monitoring it, and because our scientists know this and do this, they would think that ET scientists, alien scientists, would do the same thing. If they've got radio technology, they'll have the same uses for it there as well. So that is why it makes it a very good place. If you want a message to be heard, this is the channel on the dial that you would put it out. Of all the thousands of frequencies, the thousands of channels there, this is the place on the dial there that you're most likely to get ears on it. And it also works because of its usefulness for radio astronomy. That brain's gone dead there. It's actually we're not allowed to transmit on it there. So any signals we do get, we can immediately discount as not human technology anyway, because we're not allowed to transmit. So no equipment is made to broadcast on this frequency, which isn't true of any of the other frequencies there. So it does help us in that filtration process. But even if your communications technology is more advanced there, so you're using either a quantum property, maybe a laser, or something like that, whatever it could be, telepathy, even using that for your communications, if you want somebody to hear a message, it's the best place statistically is to put it here on this frequency, because it's always going to have that usefulness, and therefore it'll always be monitored there. And Steve, I think they want to communicate to us, but don't know how, because we are too primitive. Well, I mean, definitely could be the case there. I mean, we have curiosity in less advanced species, didn't we? We're constantly trying to communicate there. I mean, just take me to a zoo, and I'm always trying to mimic and do what the animals do. I want to get some feedback, some sort of connection to the animals there. So it makes sense that they'd have that as well, and maybe they are limited over these vast distances, because even though we are seeing strange things in the sky, that may very well be ET there. Maybe there's a range of them. Maybe some have the technology to travel, maybe some don't there as well. Is the Black Knight satellite real? So, I don't know 100%, Stephen, but It's very plausible. It's the sort of thing that we would do, and we're actually planning on trying to do at the moment. Is launch probes to on the Proxima system there. So it makes sense that because Earth has been screaming life for a couple of billion years. Quite some time there, so an alien species could easily have detected Earth's biological signatures there, alerts, and gone, right, let's put a probe in orbit of that planet, we'll monitor it, and then when they get to that technological level there that they start sending radio signals, because it's quite an early one, so it's a good measure, then this probe can wake up and start monitoring, and we do have some signs that maybe there is a probe up there and it is sending those signals back to us as that first hello. There have been these weird signals detected, repeated back over time that we can't trace there, and again there's images that could potentially be the Black Knight satellite there, and there's definitely, we do know that there is lots of stuff in our planet's orbit there that we don't know where it's come from. We track it and we don't know what it is there, so there are definitely candidates for that. And 1.420 gig, that's the one. Alone as well there. It's the alien baby monitor. It reminds me actually of Signs. Have you seen the film Signs? Where they were getting the aliens communicating in the baby monitors, weren't they, for that one? You think of all this equipment, of all this technology that we've got here, trying to pick up aliens, and just a baby monitor would do it. But speaking of what we've got here, so Mirzam. Yeah, Mirzam, M-I-R-Z-A-M. So that starts new to us. We've never had Mirzam in a range for a site, but it's 500 light years away. So it's on the other side of town, maybe the next town over in space terms there, but still quite close there. And yes, it's very far, but yeah, that is in range of our dish. But more importantly, Sirius is literally on the cusp of the outer range of our dish. So you guys over on the tubes there, you will see where our dish is and its range. At the bottom of the screen you can see a little target symbol there. So Sirius is about to get in range there. Again, we've never had Sirius in range, and it's got such a long history in ancient folklore and religious practices there that there's a long connection to the UFO, so it's probably a good candidate to be pointing our dish at tonight. So yeah, any minute now that is going to literally start to come in range of our dish, so therefore I'm very, very excited. Over on the tubes. I don't know, I'm not following you there, sadly, Jolly. And she's spotty, but she's gorgeous. Very early nights. They probably pop over here for a quick laugh at how stupid we look. Well, yeah, I mean, this isn't to them. We probably look stupid, but it does actually bring us back round to something that I've always found quite interesting, which is all of the accounts of close encounters of the third kind there, so when people are physically seeing the aliens there. They're all bipedal. They, 2 legs, 2 arms, heads on shoulders, very similar to us. Some of them are meant to be lizardy, some of them are meant to be the grey, some of them are meant to be more insect-like, but they're still very similar to us. So a couple of things could be going on there. One, it could be mass hallucinations, and we're drawing from our experience, which is us and bipedal there, or, and this is what I think is more interesting here, that they probably have had similar evolutionary pressures to create the requirements for those things, which would mean that if that is the case, they would probably be just as aggressive as we are. Because that's, again, conditioned through us through evolution there. We've needed to do it because of scarcity of resource and conflict and other things. And if they physically look very similar to us, they probably had very similar pressures, which means they probably will be that way as well. Or the third way to look at this is that maybe we're all related, and there are some points to this. There's definitely a few people make some very good arguments, but back when the sun has first formed there in what's called a stellar nursery, where all of the stars start to form in the galaxy, we're probably very close to other suns and other stars, and therefore other planets, and we may have swapped a few back then. But something called panspermia was probably very likely. So if life developed that early on, it could have been sneezed and infected around all the other close by planets, and then as they've gone around and distributed around the Milky Way's disk, maybe we've got cousins at different evolutionary points all the way around, but all coming from that central seed there, and that's why we have that similarity. I mean, then you've got the extratemporal theory, haven't you, that the greys could be us from the future. That holds, evolutionarily speaking, as well there. Stephen, funny how we talk about that star and they all come from there. Yeah, there's so many things in it going back into ancient culture where they go, yeah, these guys, they come from this star. They're all quite confident and quite specific about these things. But what really gets me, it's one of the tribes, is it the Dugon tribe? I never get, because the Hopi is the ant people, isn't it, of North America there. But I think it's the Dugon tribe there. It's a North African tribe, I think. There it goes. Sirius is in range. So Sirius is a close by star, 8.6 light years. So it's not the closest, but it's a couple of doors down. It's on our street. It's very, very, very close by there. And my computer's saying we don't know of any exoplanets. That's interesting. I thought we would have been that close. We would have detected some, but hey ho. Anyway, Sirius is very interesting, and it's now, for the first time on this stream, in range here. So, very, very good. Oh, and we are on the cusp as well of another 3 stars, Wezen and Adara and Aldora as well. Oh god, this is a right catch tonight, guys. This is a good selection of stars. Again, the more stars, the more opportunity. I mean, there's thousands of stars always in the dishes range because it just goes on and on and on. But the closer they are, again, the less energy requirements that there is for those signals to reach us here, and therefore higher statistical odds that we're going to detect the signals there as well. So Sirius is a good candidate. But yes, it's the Dogon, I think it's the Dogon. It might be the other way around, but they were an African tribe there that in their culture going back years, and we've reported this story what they had told us years and years ago, like 100 odd years, through anthropology there, and basically they said thousands of years ago their ancestors were visited by people or beings from another planet, and they knew which planet it was. They could point it out in the night sky, and they said what was very, very interesting was that this planet, or their planet, was in orbit around a binary system, so that's 2 stars, right? And so the orbit was like 56 years of this star, or something like that. It was very specific details. And anyway, we couldn't observe this. We didn't have the technology. But when we did get the technology in the 90s and we did look at that star, hey ho, it was a binary system, and it did have that 56-year orbit. So how the hell did this ancient tribe know all of that so long ago? And there's loads of stories like that. It's very, very interesting there. Kate, I see the word ant, but I don't see the rest of the message, sadly. That's TikTok filtering it out there. So if I haven't got around to your messages yet, guys, I've got one more to read there. But if I haven't got around to your messages, probably TikTok filtering it out. So do try again. I'd love to hear from you all there. But TikTok is really hot on filtering out stuff for no reason. Apparently they're ant people. Yes, we did. Yeah, so I think it was the Hopi that talk about the ant people coming from underground and saving their tribe. They brought them underground with them. I think it's the Hopi. There. And videos found, no one will care, but I saw a metallic Tic Tac 4 years ago. No videos. On the other hand, we very much care. This is exactly what we're about, so we thank you for sharing that. I'd love to hear a bit more about it. So metallic, so you could see the texture. How could you guess how far away it was, and whereabouts in the world was it? Love to hear about that. Oh, and you took a photo and posted it online, but it was removed online and from your device storage. Now, I've heard about similar things, because I thought previously, people talk about having images removed and stuff. And come on, you maybe just deleted it, or maybe you didn't take the photo in the first place. But I have heard literally of people having an experience, having their phone in their hand, filming the X, Y, Z, and then literally going, oh, that was interesting, oh, it's gone, and then the same second showing their phone, going, look, this is what you just missed, it was just there, and it being already gone, already wiped there. So it's quite possible. That's a fantastic sighting there. And how did it feel as well, videos? Was it like a wow moment, like this is amazing, look, the world and the universe is so much more exciting than we've been led to believe, or was it a bit of a fear for it? Because I think I'd be a bit scared if I was outside seeing those sightings there. And I'm hanging on there, Kate. But yeah, fantastic. Love to hear about your hear about your experiences, guys. If you've had them, a strange experience with the phenomenon, would love to hear about that. And if you are just joining us, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight there. We're searching the stars, the hydrogen line, hoping to hear ET say hello there. That is what that yellow line is. That's the frequency, the channel of interest, and it is a channel on the radio dial that scientists theorize we are most likely to hear those messages should a ET be out there sending them there. I think it's going crazy tonight. I've seen so many half messages tonight. I think TikTok is just on one today. Absolutely ridiculous there. And Mark, are you liking the Daniel Knightley videos? Yes, I like him. I don't know if it's just because he's quite charismatic, but I like him. There. And people mean magic resource machine may be a thing. Ooh. Magic resource machine may be a thing. So that was from our deep dive, wasn't it, there? I'm trying to think of what the connection was that mentioned in that? So we did a deep dive, didn't we, the other week? So that's another thing that we do, guys. We do over on Patreon. We do it a couple of times a month there, normally on a Friday night. And because we're not welcoming people in all the time, we can really get into the meat of something there. So we go to we take a document that's been leaked in the phenomena, or a whistleblower's account, and this time I think it was the last one we did, it was a whistleblower that was claiming to have knowledge on some of the stuff that's going on there, and they mentioned that basically their story very simply was that they were the Galactic Council or something along those lines took some humans as a breakaway civilization, put them on another star, and kind of gave them infinite resources just to see how they would develop, and then see how we would develop with the scarcity of resources that we have here. And lo and behold, the other civilization that had all the resources was much better off, and they're very, very advanced, and they're now visiting us. That was the gist of it there. But there's a lot of judgment in that one, and I couldn't quite get my head around the fact of they had infinite resources, so of course they were going to be better because they're not fighting for resources. They're the ones opposed to the council. Oh, that was it. Yes. So and part of it was that there is a species of ant-like, as best description there, aliens on their way here to Earth to give us a battering to kind of annoy this Galactic Council because we're their little experiment there. And Lone Wolf Tic Tac UFOs are submersibles. William Cooper, a Navy officer, was the first Navy officer who saw one. So is that as in that they're still UFOs, but they're the UFOs that also go in the water, or do you mean they're like actual sort of normal technology in this cross? Because I did hear somebody actually have a compelling argument for some of them. I mean, I think it doesn't quite explain the speeds and the movement behaviour seen, but they're talking about the sort of an aerogel sort of formula there, so they were lighter than air, and as a military sort of product. I think a sensor platform. William Cooper saw a UFO rise up out of the sea in front of his captain, a Navy officer in the ocean. I mean, some of these these been going on for a very, very long time. Even old Columbus is reported to have seen a UFO on his voyages there. The phenomena does seem to be with us. It's just we've either interpreted it differently over the years, again through our best understandings of the time, because we as humans don't see what is. We don't see what reality is. We understand things through what we know is existing, so we can get things very, very wrong. Hence, when you look at all these interpretations throughout history, and they are definitely of their time, and I always find it quite convenient, isn't it, that our modern UFO era, little green men flying in big metal spaceships coming from other planets, happened at the time that we culturally were started to look up to the sky, started sending man into space in big metal ships, and all of a sudden, maybe the aliens are doing that. Now, the phenomenon has been here the whole time, but before it's been previously reported as gods. It's been reported as the Fae and the fairy folk and folklore, so it's very interesting there. It does seem to be going on the whole damn time there. And videos, it acted like it saw my camera. I've heard about this. And I mean, that consciousness connection would solve that, wouldn't it? That maybe they are aware of those things. Definitely people that have reported they've had interactions coming in the stream talking about this. They have been stalked by these things. Even if they're quite far away, they seem to still respond. And that there. Can't wait for Google Earth to do a seabed one. Can you imagine? It all comes out, it's all there. But do you think the ancient ruins, they've got to be close to a technology where they can do that one. And the jumps in evolution not being able to be explained by Darwin's theory. There are some very interesting things, isn't there, within evolution there. So what we take as Darwinism is actually neo-Darwinism there. Darwin himself actually thought there was a little bit of real-time trickery going on there. It wasn't just the selection bias of things. But one of the things is, was it bats? So the wings of a bat are actually evolved from the feet of a type of the earlier rodent there. And what happened is their fingers in their feet kind of stretched out like that, and then they got things, and then they got the skin in between, and they started to learn it there, and they developed flight from that. So if you're thinking about how selection had to select for all of those changes, and that was probably thousands and thousands, or not more, millions of cellular different changes each time and each generation to develop into a wing before it had any benefit that would have then kept that creature alive more than the others, for natural selection. And that is one of the areas that mainstream evolution does actually struggle with, and that kind of rocked me a little bit, because I just took evolution as for granted and as obvious there. But yeah, so that is one of the things. There's a lot of questions around. We've got not all quite the full set now, but I don't think we've ever had this many stars in shots. Can I scroll down on that one? No, I can't. I'll have to adapt that one. But we have got Sirius at 8.6 light years in on us here. We've got Mirzem there at 500 light years. We've got Adara at 430 light years. And oh my god, that's our farthest one, the Wezen, at 1,800 light years. So we've got the range. We've got our furthest star in range tonight, and we've got our closest star in range tonight. How cool is that? So let's keep an eye. Let's notice if anything is going on here in the signals, because again, any radio signals, these stars are only just coming into range for us tonight now, so they're only going to get stronger for the next half an hour or so. So let's keep an eye out and see if we do get any activity, any changes from having this many in range there. So we're doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight. Do make sure you are following us. So we do something like this every night. Hopefully tomorrow night or the night after. Be a UFO, UAP, skywatcher there. Looking for all the weird and wonderful things flying around the night skies in the heart of crop circle country here in Wiltshire there. And Funny, how you doing? Good night. Very good. Good to see you there. But Funny Money, and have a good night. Hopefully we'll catch you later on in the week there as well. And we done the moon. We get the tech. Maybe. And Kate as well, do you think those mummies were yet another humanoid species that existed? Kate, so these are, I wish I could bring up videos for this, because so if you guys have seen, they came around on the news a few years ago, and they looked really hokey, really, really rubbish, these apparent alien mummies. But upon looking into them a bit further, they've now scanned them, and particularly the M-type, they do look like the stereotypical grey aliens, what you'd expect there. They've got, they are really interesting, but they've been scanned, they've been genetically researched and tested by independent labs. These things are real organisms. They are real. They're not fakes. They once lived. They are organic creatures. And they look a hell of a lot like aliens, and they've got a few of these mummified bodies, all come from this part of Peru. And now, were they a version of humans? We know there's been many, many evolutionary traits there. The problem is that they're tridactyl, so they have 3 fingers and 3 toes there, which that difference for us was a very, very long time ago. That would change before our feet developed and toes and stuff like that. So it'd be quite tricky for that there. But apparently that region of Peru where it comes from, the local name for the region, I can't remember what it is, but it translates to sort of hybridization and genetic laboratory. Basically, that's the rough translation that goes back into antiquity. And you're thinking, there's something weird going on there, because these mummies are like 1,200 years old, 500 years old as well. So it could be, they definitely were real organisms. Were they natural, or were they created, or God knows there. And videos, I do ghost hunts on the side, like it, and some interactions explain things that exist on this planet. Oh, I'd love to hear a bit more of that, because there is a good overlap, isn't there, of the phenomena in the UFO alien world and the paranormal. In fact, I find generally, not 100%, but a lot of us here in the UFO world are also interested in the wider paranormal world. It's the inquisitive mind, isn't it? They're curious to see how the world might really be there. Cavemen painted strange things in the sky. Oh my god, they 100% did. They literally cave paintings, appear to have the grey aliens there. And So evidence that DNA pools in some places don't match with human movements. Very interesting. They recently as well found a genetic line. I'm talking about like last few days it's come out. A new genetic line of humans that they're cut off. They're not part of our genetic line at all. We'd never seen them before. Totally isolated in the Sahara area. They recently found some mummies there. And Singing Taxi Driver, how are you doing there? Good morning and thank you for the follow. How do you feel about the old UFO, UAP phenomena there? Are you curious yourself, or do you think we are all alone in the universe there? And Boo, how are you doing? Have you found any signals? So we're just getting some interesting planets in range. We've got a little signal here. This is probably an interference signal because it's been with us the whole time, but we haven't ourselves yet had that big wow clear message from aliens. They are quite rare, but we do tend to see things in the night sky. So when the skies are clear and we're doing our UFO UAP skywatch there, we tend to see something strange in the night sky every stream there, something that cannot be explained as a satellite or a shooting star or anything like that there. 134 signal analysis tonight. It is going up, isn't it? 137 on the tally there. And funny, did you look up the dying things? I did actually. I came across my notes today. I totally forgot after the stream, and I look at my paper. What's that number? And so what I got from it was a gravitational wave detection. That looked like a couple of black holes coming into contact, which I couldn't find the potential alien part of it there. But was that number relating to a gravitational wave detection there? And tubers, I will get over to you shortly there. I'm just trying to make my way through the lists here there. And videos, it happened in St Agnes in Cornwall, and it was about 30 feet from the coastal. Now that is cool because I love St Agnes. I used to go there every summer for about 5 years when I was a child for our annual family holiday. So I have amazing memories of St Agnes. I still love it to this day. But a UFO sighting there as well. I do wonder if there's a bit of activity around there, because every now and again I catch a UFO video and I notice it is there in that part of the north coast of Cornwall, and I do wonder if there's a connection there. That is fascinating. And Green, how are you doing there? Evidence exists in the geology of our Earth that twice had a push that there were civilizations there. Green, I love this angle here. The idea that we are not the first intelligent civilization to develop, but even recently they found, didn't they, evidence of a totally different instance of life that was separate to us, and it died out there quite quickly, but it was a separate, a case of abiogenesis, they think there, of life. Or no, sorry, it wasn't abiogenesis, it was the complex life evolving again. That was it, and it died out in the early days there, but we don't know, and the Earth has been habitable many, many times, and if you look at our recent civilizational tick there, it doesn't actually take that long for us to get quite developed here, as long as we've got the ingredients, we've got a nice, safe, warm environment with lots of food. And you look at the geologic timescale, there has been a lot of windows for that. But Earth likes to wipe the canvas clean. We have our environment, our weather that does this, our tectonic plate movements and things like that. There wouldn't actually necessarily be a lot left behind, if anything at all, there. So it could well have there as well. And videos, thank you for the follow, appreciate that. And is there a link for that in the Discord? Oh, which one was that? And I can't remember. Green, before humans, due to carbon footprint. So, is there there's a carbon marker in the record then before humans? Because I know some people dispute it, but then when you look at how they are trying to debunk it, the data that they're pulling isn't very good. And now one of the ones that was more known for this was talking about metallurgy there, when we developed metalworking, that you could tell in ice core samples because there was lots of more mercury in the air that then got deposited in those ice core samples. So you can see when we as humans started to develop those things. But apparently it's not a good test because those ice core samples only do a certain geographical region and doesn't do the whole Earth and blah blah blah. So yeah, there, as far as I know, there could have been those other things going there. Interference spike is big tonight. It is big. That interference plateau, right there. And Boo as well, welcome aboard, thank you for the follow there. And would you be interested in coming on and chatting about this? Boo, 100%. Now, the thing you have to remember is I am not very knowledgeable. I am an enthusiastic amateur here, and I know a little about a lot of things here. So if you need an expert, in any particular UFO. I'm probably not the best person for it, but I'm always happy to have a chat, and I'm more of a big picture rather than the details and how these things might link there. But I'm always up for having a chat if it's of use there. And see you tomorrow, funny there. Catch you tomorrow, guys, for those ones there. And a month after it happened, and Chris as well, thank you for the heart, appreciate that. All of the gifts, the subs, the patrons do go back into the stream. Speaking of patrons, we'll be doing our next deep dive in a couple of weeks. They haven't decided what the subject's going to be, but if you do want to join us for those and watch the past ones back, the link in the top of the bio there gives you it for free for a month. So you'll be able to get 2 deep dives in there and watch the past ones back there. And I think it rolls on to a free plan anyway, so you don't have to cough up then. A month after it happened, a sighting of metallic detectors were spotted in the US. These things happen in waves there. The new line of humans. You know what? I don't think it is in the Discord. I literally caught it on a video last night. If I come across it again, I'll try and find it, Kat, and I'll post it for you there. And Budralf is, sorry, totally getting your name wrong there, but have we found anything yet? Not yet, but we are just getting some awesome stars in range. Like, guys, you need to check it out at the Thing UFO. Give us a sub over on the YT there, because look, you can see more of the sky. There we go. And as you can see there, at the bottom of the screen, there's a sky map, shows you where our dish is pointing. Right now, I have never seen it so alive. It's really cool. We have got Sirius, Mirazem, Weezen, Adira, and Aludra. There goes another star god. Getting all those names wrong on the stars there as well. We've got so many in range tonight. We've got our furthest one in range and our closest one in range tonight. So hoping to get those signals. It is a bit of a right place, right time. It's a bit of luck at play. You never know if you're going to be over a star that has a civilization, and are they going to be sending signals as well? It takes a lot of energy, so they're unlikely to be sending them all of the time. So luck does come to play, and you have to do it repeatedly. It's a bit of the scientific method there. But the more stars, the more our odds go up there. And boo, it's good. We're enthusiastic amateurs at podcasting. Always happy to have a chat there, boo. That's actually my day job, podcasting. There, I'll drop you. Awesome. I'll check it out after the stream there. Christopher, how are you doing? Good to see you in. Where in the world are you joining us from tonight there? And please say, I will try and figure it out, because it was fascinating, the video there. And Dr. Duckhead, find me, I'm here. I found you, Dr. Duckhead. It's all right. We've got you. And Lone Wolf, the military developed new materials after these crashes. Dura aluminium comes to mind. What was the other one? There was a memory metal, wasn't it? Was it Dura? There was another one that comes to mind. But there's again, they report, isn't it, a number of technologies mysteriously happened without the obvious development tree, the build-up. Again, a lot of them are contested, but there are some interesting cases among them. I think Velcro, fiber optics. Oh, what else was there? Yeah, there's a lot there as well, there, and videos as well, but they were covered up, and they claimed it was the weather balloons. I mean, that's the classic one there, and I'm going to have to quickly pop over to the tubes, because I've been ignoring you guys, trying to get the head on the other end. It's not happened, so let's make sure I put in a word for you guys there. Where are we, guys? The Black Knight satellite 50-50 with me, although a live feed was recently cut when it came in frame. If so, it will be the last remnant of Atlantean technology, and I don't know for certain, but best guess is, wouldn't that be so cool? Because it's possible. I mean, some of those orbits are very, very long. They can take a long time to re-enter. It would be so fascinating, wouldn't it, to if it was maybe, because that's something, is it from Earth initially, from one of those past civilizations there? And not a remnant of the Watchers. Maybe, Jolly. Maybe somewhere we can agree on that. And that's right. It's left of the system, and I wonder why. God, we're quite far back now. Sorry, guys. Took me a while to get around to you guys there. That's legitimately hilarious. You've got a radio telescope, so they censor people trying to talk to you. Oh, yeah, it is quite funny. It is. They're constantly, after our streams over on our Discord, we'll get all of our regulars will share the screenshots of all of the TikTok violations for saying words like and cake, and they're totally harmless, everything they say, but he's just getting all these strikes and they get kicked out of the stream. It's an awful platform for that there. And it's the Dogon tribe, the Star people from Sirius. Oh, was it from Sirius? And there we go, we've got Sirius in range tonight. Perfect. There. Taught them how to survive. The Hopi had the ant people from under the earth protecting them. Yeah, they got protected, they got brought under it there. But the Star people, they're so serious. So this is it. I didn't know it was serious. So that's a nice obvious one there. And the Hopi Indians disappeared, and Columbus pushed them off at the edge of the earth while they moved on and followed the sun. They enter our realm through the oceans. And Up says, this is why I love animal head gods. You will pat an Anubis and you won't be able to resist patting on the head. Yeah, what do you think of that? That's good. I didn't consider that. Took like a dog there. Then there's the Bassett, the Queen, what's that? The film in the display looks pearlescent. Oh, does it? I saw them too. I had the MRI data. They deleted it off your computer. That's interesting. Can't read an MRI, but they deleted it anyway. The signal is the chode. I like that. Up there. That is now what the interference signal is called there. Amino acids and other building blocks like sugars have been found floating in space. They have lots of organic materials. In fact, it's looking like the building blocks for life are bloody everywhere, and the possibilities for life are everywhere as well. I mean, Earth developed life pretty much as soon as it goddamn could have. In fact, a lot earlier than they expected. They still thought Earth was too hot and too volatile, but no, we've got evidence that it did there. And also, some scientists recently did the maths basically, and all of those evolutionary steps from absolute a microbe all the way up there, and it's apparently there hasn't been enough time for us to develop to this much. So life must have started from the case of abiogenesis from zero. There must have done that first few steps somewhere else there. Teacher Man to Fish there. It's midnight in London. Yeah, it is. Well, it's what is it now? It's 2 minutes past here, there as well. And how to guarantee an income? YT. We've had. It's about right there. Yeah, that is literally right there, Zena. Now, right, let's get back over to the tubes. The TikToks. How are you guys doing? Crystal, Norway. Oh, love it. Again, you've got some fantastic scenery over there. Have you ever seen anything in those skies there? Actually, I feel like we've spoken before, haven't we, Christopher? And the reports I favorited were deleted. It does look. There's lots of people do talk about, don't they, being having these interactions with authorities that removing evidence there and stuff like that. Oh, when you think a green water, it's in a glass. Actually got a clip from it on the old oh really? Now I'd love to see that one if you ever post it there. And alone, has anyone ever seen the test videos of Area 51? They were testing the first prototypes. I feel like I may have seen a grainy video years ago, but now I would be much more interested to see them there. And you got a movie shot from it. Love to hear. Yeah, love to see that one if you're posting it there. TikTok violations are annoying. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. The amount of times that they de-gift us as well, but yeah, just people. It gets impossible for people to watch it lately. It's so frustrating. There, and all the cars have seen it too. Interesting, and I would love to. Yeah, I'd love to see that video. If I ever get a dog, I'm absolutely calling him Anubis. I think that's you have to now. Wasn't possible to post a government fail about and did that on my phone. Have you ever done a podcast on how these anti-gravity machines work? So I haven't, no, because I'm awful at reading the script and I'm not very detailed orientated. So when we're here and we're live and we're just having a chat and you guys asking the odd questions, and I can rattle from my brain and go, I've heard something roughly in line with this, and give you like the cliff notes of a 2-hour podcast, that's easy. I can do that most days. But actually kind of presenting, the beginning, middle, the end, and explaining a process, I am useless with there. There are so many good people out there. Check out Jesse Michael's American Alchemy if you've not already on YouTube. He does a lot of stuff on the anti-gravity stuff, and he's probably one of the best people out there covering this subject. Guys, if you're just joining us, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight. We are searching the stars for ET, hopefully saying hello, listening on a frequency called the hydrogen line. That's that yellow line on the top of the screen, and it is the channel on the radio dial there that scientists theorize is most likely place to hear a message from ET, should they be sending one. So that is what we're doing tonight. Do give us a follow, because we do this basically every night. But if it's a clear sky, it happens occasionally in the UK, we do this, a live UFO, UAP, skywatch system footage. See all the stars, all the things moving around there. If the moon is up there, we do a moon watch, see translunar phenomena and weird things going on off and around the moon. So yeah, give us a follow, and hopefully you get those notifications when we go live. It was over 10 years ago. Oh, Christopher, have you still got it? There. And also, Mr. Duncan Mary, I must have missed one there. Where were we going? No, we're up to date there. JJ's in. How are you doing? Good to see you. It's dedication, yeah. Well, every night. I mean, some of you guys are in every night as well. Now, that is dedication from you guys. I'm sure you've got better things to be doing. I tried posting on Facebook, but it didn't allow me. TikTok is not too bad for these sorts of subjects. It will let you share your knowledge and information. What it doesn't like is any of the weird way, that doesn't want people's feelings to be hurt, basically. So as long as it can't be interpreted that way, normally it's quite a good platform to distribute stuff on there. And government safety, yeah, about right. So, yeah. And are you checking the hydrogen line twice and mixing it with the atomic weight of oxygen? Oh my god, this is where it starts to get complicated, isn't it? I'm talking about the messages that may come through, or you say like the actual frequencies there. You can look at pi and all these other sort of mathematical things there that might be the places, the frequencies, used, or but my brain just melts at that sort of stuff. We stick to a nice and easy hydrogen line here. I do want to try and start to incorporate a second monitoring of 1.6, especially when we're doing the sky watches, because when we see those strange things in the sky, if we could then pick up a correlation with 1.6, which is known to be associated with the phenomena, that would be really, really, really cool. I think they could be quite an interesting one, but I just can't get over having the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars in range tonight. Closest to 8.6, so Sirius is in range there. So that is the one was it the Hopi, did we say? No, not that. Oh god, what was it? I need to scroll up now. Anyway, that tribe, the Star People tribe, wasn't it? They were met by people from the Sirius system there many, many years ago, and they knew about the Sirius system before we did. The Dugong, that was it. The Dugong. Lone Wolf. We downloaded tons of data off servers 25 years ago in New Mexico before censorship. Really? Oh, I wonder what is in that. There. I went down a rabbit hole one night and found military diagrams of electromagnetic propulsion. This is the thing, is a lot of this stuff is out there. Electrogravitics and stuff, and it did seem that up until the 1950s, they thought anti-gravity technology was the next big thing, quite publicly. It was all in all of the scientific press, we're all talking about this, they call them the G engines. The G engines are going to be here within a year. And then what happened is it just went silent. It wasn't that, it hasn't worked out, or these theories have been disproved. It was all of a sudden, hype, nothing. So it really points to the fact that it could have been, they discovered something, and then it was classified very, very quickly. And there's a lot of evidence for that. There's, I said, old Jesse Michaels does one, particularly on Thomas Townsend Brown. There are a lot of evidence around that under development. So you've just got to check those out there, because it does look like something happened back then as well. And I need to drop off now. I need to head off for the old Zeds. Oh, thank you, Thank you for staying a bit later than normal there as well. Appreciate that. And yeah, have a good restful night. We'll be coming off soon ourselves, shortly anyway, there. Alone as well. Yeah, the military are doing research on liquid superconductors. Interesting. I've not heard of the liquid superconductors there. I've heard about, you know, room temperature ones, but not liquid ones. That's interesting. Christopher, it wasn't possible to see what it was, but it was something moving quicker than possible. And again, being that long ago as well. That's probably pre a lot of the drone stuff. I mean, so speed, movement, trajectory, you know, changes in direction, things like that really do help you filter out the prosaic, the explainable from, you know, from the potential UFO craft. Because when we're doing our skywatches there, we tend to see a lot of stuff, and there are a lot of satellites up there. In fact, most of the things that we see are satellites and things like that. So we have to filter them out, and the easiest way to do that, rather than tracking each of them individually, is by their behaviour, looking for that strange behaviour there. And even the college physics books have been censored since the 1980s in the United States there. Honestly, I'm just not surprised, but also a little bit surprised. But you go, yeah, that's just... then it went sideways like lightning, then it sped up first, and it stood still in the middle of the day. Now that is very cool. I mean, what could we, especially at that time, could have done those things there? And well, it is. That is why it's called the Dog Star. Is it really? I did wonder. I thought it says there. Ah, it's cool. And in most African and all heritages, Sirius means the Dog Star, the end of summer, beware. Now that is cool. I mean, there is something to all of these old traditions here, and all of those old religious texts and things. There is something going on. The phenomena was very, very present there. But yeah, we've got Sirius in range now, right in range of our dish. So if they're using radio technology, but again, if they're the type of civilization that is visiting us physically, then they probably wouldn't need to be messaging, would they? They can do it in person. But you never know, maybe they're still sending out some signals there. And what would a liquid superconductor do? I'm sure it could be just easy of use there. So a conductor is obviously anything that conducts, I don't know, for example, like electricity or something there, but it's the degrees of efficiency. So there's always, like if you're using a metal, there's always a loss of the electricity when it's conducting through it, and the more conductive, the less loss, the less resistance there is. So superconductors are really, really low resistance there, so they're very, very efficient, so they're very useful for machines and things. But I think at the minute, science, the mainstream science, it's only got, you have to cool them to like absolute zero. It's like really, really difficult, so therefore they're not used in a lot of applications because you have to cool them, and that in itself just takes so much effort, it makes it all pointless. So the scientific goal is if they can make a room temperature one, they can have all the benefits of the superconductor without all of the effort going to with it. But a liquid one, I'm not sure. You know, maybe it's just more flexible and more easy to use there. We was on a road driving, and then it's in front of us, and then miles away. I mean, those speeds, what else can do that? They're alone as well. The die can send copies of what was censored from 1981. It's not a new physics book. I'm going to be curious to see what the sort of things were there. It's way past your bedtime. You are totally right there, Agent X. We'll be winding down, just trying to get ahead to other messages. And the object I saw at incredible speeds happened twice. That is cool. And never seen something like it before. Not other UFO histories that I've been seeing. So yeah, you've not seen one like it. But one happened stargazing after the same location there. And look up the Messina effect. Messina superconductor is used to resist magnetic fields. Okay, now that could be useful there. I will forget to, but and it was in Florida. Again, the US gets a lot of this action, doesn't it there? And I saw the first one, missed the second, but my mate missed the first and saw the second. So something was going on there. Your friend saw it there as well. The rarest kind of conductor is a bus. But meeting officers of the Swedish military told it was an observer for UFOs. I mean, I think when the stigma goes, and therefore a little bit of the security around all this, we're going to find it so much more common. Excuse me. So much more common than we first thought. I think there's more people are going to have those experiences than we realised there. Some of our closest friends will probably go, yeah, I have actually seen something. Right, well, I hate to do it whilst we've got such good stars in shot, but it does mean that if they're in shot now, as the months goes on into the new year, these stars will come into shot earlier on in the day. So this week we are going to be doing our lives at 10 p.m. till midnight UK time. We're just going to see how that goes. I might end up going on a bit earlier. We'll figure it out. We're just trialing some new bits there. But yeah, do feel free to join us. Make sure you're following us, because we do something pretty much every night here. And occasionally we also go on location and do a live skywatch. We are trying to arrange at the minute. I'm getting interference from something. That's weird. Sorry, yeah, so yeah, we do that. But do make sure you're following if you're not already. And hopefully we will catch you all later on in the week, hopefully for a nice skywatch there. I wish I could see it again. I think you see something like that, yeah, of course you're going to want to see that one again. And also, before you go, take a look at the hydrogen powered UFOs. Those are military UFOs. Interesting, that's there. And oh, Amanda, hello, how are you doing there? What are you doing so late? I'm trying going back, because during the summer we used to do like 11:30 until like 2, so I'm trialing doing a little bit later and then seeing how that goes this week. Get some more data. Excuse me. So we are going to be on a bit later, but yeah, we are just coming off now though, Amanda, but thank you for the heart. Hope you are well there. And Skeggs as well, thank you for the likes, guys. We do appreciate those likes and shares. They do help us reach more and more like-minded people. So yeah, we're going to try and see if we can catch some of the old crew that we had during the summer there, that where we've gone earlier. We've probably missed a few there. And I've walked the same coastal path for 8 years and only seen it once close up. But you've still seen it though in the distance. That's pretty cool there. Where are we? Over on the tubes there. The UK exists in a frozen bit of time, space, and now we just got to get used to it. Yeah, in between Christmas and New Year is a very odd place to be there. But office buildings leave the lights on 24/7. What's that for? They do, J-Fox. There, and trust the machine. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we've met a few new friends tonight, or old friends that we haven't seen for a while. Hello and welcome aboard there, but hopefully we'll catch you all later on there. And if it's a cloudy night, we're going to be doing more alien radio signal hunting. If it is a clear sky though, we will be doing those sky watches or even the moon watches, because the moon is up at this the beginning part of the month there, so I'm sure that'll be coming. That is a massive there, videos. That is massive there. But nighty night everyone, thank you so much for joining in tonight, keeping us company and asking your awesome questions there. Thank you for tapping away and sharing, liking. That helps us reach more people like yourselves there. Put up a little Skywatcher community, so we do appreciate that there. And yeah, but gifters, subbers, Patreons, again, extra love there, because you help us improve on what we are doing here as well. Help us reinvest in the stream there. But thank you so much, and yeah, we'll catch you tomorrow night 10 p.m. UK time there. Bye bye, guys. And tubers, you get us for an extra second. Must I click on the other buttons there? But thank you guys, you're awesome, and hopefully